Hello guys, it's Chun Hao. So I'm back with another trial walkthrough video. So if you see the title of the video, I'm sure you already know that I will be doing the Addmaths SPM SEBENAR 2025, and this is the paper 2. Okay, I already did the paper 1. Yeah, it's already on my YouTube channel. Okay, so it's been a while since I upload a trial walkthrough video. I think the last time I upload a trial walkthrough video is like 5 months ago, like around January, I think. And I remember that video was the paper one. Yeah, it was the SPM 2025 MS paper one. Okay. And I still remember I upload that one day after the Addmaths exam. Yeah. One day after the SPM 2025 Addmaths exam. Yeah, one day after it, I upload the paper one. Yeah. Yeah, it's still in my channel. If you want to watch the paper one, you can go search it lah. But this video I'll be doing the paper two. Okay, so it's been a while, so I feel a bit awkward to be honest. Yeah, because I never do the trial video for a long time already. Okay, so if I make any mistakes, hope you be more forgiving lah. But I probably won't make any mistakes lah. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, nothing bad will happen. I'm just overthinking. Yeah. Okay, so let's start now. So bahagian A jawab semua soalan. Okay, number one. Alright. First of all, we need to know what chapter is it first. So if we scan through the question quickly, you can see quadratic function. So it's a Form 4 chapter 2 questions, right? Yeah, the quadratic chapter. So let's read. The graph of quadratic function fx is x squared minus 2x plus 6 minus m intersects the x-axis at points A and B such that m is a constant. Soalan A, find the range of values of m and it's worth 2 marks. Alright, first thing first, the equation or the function that they give us here is not complete. It's not a complete function. So I'm going to do my working here. Okay, let's write down the information first. Fx equals to x squared minus 2x plus 6 minus m. Alright, this is already in general form. Okay, you can see the ABC clearly, everything is arranged nicely, but it's not complete. Why I say that is because the m value we don't know. So ini tak lengkap lah. Equation ni tak lengkap, function ni tak lengkap. Yeah, and we have to find the range of m, right? So when you see the word find range in exam, that means your final answer will have the symbol smaller or bigger, ataupun smaller sama dengan, bigger sama dengan, ataupun in between lah. Okay, that's what it means by range. Okay, in Addmaths, when you see the word find range, your answer will definitely have these symbols, one of these symbols, right? So how do I find the range of m? Well, they got mentioned a keyword here, intersects x-axis at points A and B. So they're trying to hint at something here, right? So intersects x-axis at point A and B. What does it mean? It means, okay, the shape of this quadratic will definitely be like that. Yeah, like a happy face, right? Because the A is positive 1, so it will look like this. And intersect x-axis at point A and B, that just means that it will have two different roots. One at point A, one at point B. Okay? So, by drawing it out like that, you already know what you have to do. B squared minus 4AC bigger than 0. Because it has two different roots, right? Yeah. But, they never said two different roots in the question, but they mentioned intersect x-axis at points A and B. Basically, they mean the same thing lah. So what you have to do is the b squared minus 4ac bigger than 0. So now you just have to masukkan b, masukkan a, masukkan c, and then bigger than 0. And it makes sense actually because your final answer will have the bigger, smaller symbol because here they said find range, right? So doing it like that is correct. Now let's put in the b. So according to the function here, b is -2, and then the a is just 1, c is 6 minus m lah. And of course, if your function is not in general form, then you have to arrange to general form first. But this one is already general form. That's why I can straight away go into the formula. -2 squared is positive 4. -4 times 1, you can ignore the 1 because -4 times 1 is -4. So straight away times 6 times -m. -4 times 6 is -24. -4 times -m is just positive 4m bigger than 0. I'm trying to find m here, so m has to be single. So what I'm going to do, I buat 4 minus 24, I get -20, pindah sana jadi positive 20. The symbol is still same lah, bigger. So m is bigger than 20 divided by 4 is 5. Because the 4 here is darab mah, hantar sana jadi bahagi lah. So 20 bahagi 4 is 5. And that should be the answer for question A. Okay. Alright. Let me scroll down and do B. Okay, B, if m equals to 6, oh, this changes everything. Because if they give you the value of m, you actually have a complete function already, right? So I think I will immediately put in the m6 inside. So it becomes x squared minus 2x And then the 6 minus m becomes 6 minus 6 because the m is 6, right? So here becomes 6 minus 6, which is 0, right? Which is 0. So if it's 0, that means here is plus 0 lah. Okay, so you can see the A is 1, the B is negative 2, C is 0. And then they want you to find the range of values of x for fx bigger than 8 by using the number line method. Okay, they want to find range again. So I just told you just now, right? In Addmaths, if you see the word find range, that means your answer will have the symbol bigger or smaller sama dengan, bigger sama dengan, ataupun in between. Yeah, they will confirm have one of the inequality symbol lah. But this time you don't do b squared minus 4ac. This time it's actually a quadratic inequality. They said fx bigger than 8. So what it means is actually you straight away take the whole fx bigger than 8. And the whole fx is just x squared minus 2x. Yeah, you do it like that. Okay. B squared minus 4ac, you only do it when they say two different roots, two equal roots, or no roots, or maybe touches at 2 points, touches at 1 point, like that. Yeah, for this case, it's not b squared minus 4ac. Alright, now they said by using number line method. Okay, why they say by using number line method? Because for quadratic inequalities, dalam bahasa Melayu, ketaksamaan kuadratik, there's 3 method, 3 kaedah. The first method is called the graph sketching method. And then the second one is called number line method, which is what I'm about to do later. And then the third one is called the table method. And we have to know all 3 methods. Okay, we have to know all 3 methods because in these recent few years they ask about the other they always specific one. They sometimes ask the table method, sometimes ask number line, sometimes ask graph sketching. So you have to make sure you know all of the methods lah. Okay, but if the question never say which method, we will just use the graph sketching method because that's the easiest one. Out of the 3 methods, graph sketching is the easiest. Okay, but for now I will just explain the number line method because that's what the question is asking. So what I will do now is do the number line method. Alright, actually it doesn't matter which method you use. Got 3 methods, right? Tapi tak kisah you use which method also, you first have to find out the x value first. So what I have to do now is actually other square, your x other square, so it's a quadratic. So what you have to do is pindah the 8 here because you want it to be general form, everything on one side and then bigger 0, and then get the value of x first. Okay? Ya, ini memang kena buat, tak kisah you guna method yang mana pun, you have to do until here first. So I have to tekan calculator A1, B negative 2, C negative 8, and your calculator will give you negative 2 and 4, right? So you will write that down. And of course here you have to write bracket. And the negative 2, kalau pindah balik dia jadi x plus 2, 4 pindah balik jadi x minus 4. And it will be bigger 0 lah. Yeah. Ikut balik yang baris before lah, ikut balik. But the equal here, you cannot write bigger like that. If you write like that, then your answer doesn't make any sense, right? This one you have to write equals first, and then you use the number line method now. Okay, so what's the number line method? You draw a number line lah. First you draw a line, and then you have to label some numbers here, and you will label the solution for x, negative 2 and 4. So small number you write here, big number you write here, right? And then draw lines to separate the region. So for this region, it represents x smaller than negative 2 because it's on the left side of negative 2. And then for this region, is x bigger than 4 because it's on the right side of 4. And for this region in between is just x in between negative 2 and 4 lah. And this is how you write in between, smaller like that, right? Okay, now we are done. Now it's time to sub the value inside. So x smaller than negative 2, you have to choose any number that's smaller than negative 2 right now. So what number are smaller than negative 2? I can choose negative 3, right? Or negative 5 also can, negative 6, whatever lah. And then later we have to take the x negative 3 sub inside this baris. Okay. Actually you want to sub here also can. Yeah, nak ganti ni pun boleh, nak ganti ni pun boleh. And our goal is to find out whether the answer comes out negative or positive. Okay. And after we do that for all 3 here, then we take the positive one because they want it to be bigger 0, right? That means we want the result to be positive. It means the region that gives you positive answer will be our answer. Okay, because they want bracket bigger 0. Okay. All right. I think I will sub now lah. So I think I will sub into this baris. Okay. All right. So what I will do is put bracket. Ignore the bigger 0. The bigger 0 we tengok last kali. Okay. So now we sub the x negative 3 inside here. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. And I get 7. Positive 7. And I care about the sign only. So it's positive or negative? Positive. So I write positive. Now let's move on to here. Okay, we have to choose any number that is bigger than 4. Let's use 5 lah. And same process, same steps. ganti dalam bracket. So 5 plus 2 here is 7. Ganti here, 5 minus 4 is 1, and you get positive 7. So positive also. Okay. Now for the last region here, x has to be in between negative 2 and 4. So I think I'll just choose 0 lah. Yeah, because when you sub 0, it becomes very easy, right? So 0 plus 2, you get 2. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. And in the end, you get negative 8. But we don't care about the value here. We only care about the sign. So it's negative. Okay. Now, after we are done with that, we look at this part, right? So do you remember just now I take all the value, I sub into the bracket and the bracket here, right? So now it's time to look at what they want. So they want the bracket to be bigger 0, meaning they want the bracket to be positive. So now you just have to take choose the region that gives you a positive answer just now. So the region that gives you positive is this side and this side, right? So the answer will be this and this. That will be the region. So you just write that down, x smaller than negative 2, and or you can just put a comma also can, x bigger than 4, right? So the soalan asks for range of x, right? So this is your range of x smaller than negative 2, and the other region is x bigger than 4. Okay, and of course you have to show all the full working lah. Even the number line also you have to show it. Yeah, everything has to be shown if you want to get full mark. Okay, all right, I'm done with that. Now let's do the B2. So read the question first lah. If okay, starts from here. It is given that point A is h0, point B is k0, such that h and k are constant. Okay, I still remember the A and B is actually the roots. Yeah, the x-intercept. Yeah, because yeah, up here, right? Yeah, we are still doing the same question. So the A and B is still under this question. So we can still use this fx to do this question because it's still the same question. So let's write down our fx is equals to x squared minus 2x plus 6 minus m. But this time they, okay, intersect x-axis at point A and point B. So they actually never give also the coordinate. They use alphabet, but it's okay. Just write it down. So these two are definitely the roots such that h and k are constant. If fx equals 0, find a quadratic equation in terms of m, which has the roots h plus k plus 1 and hk minus 1. Okay, this one I definitely have to use Sopor method. Yeah, you have to use the Sopor method because form a equation, find a quadratic equation. That means you use Sopor, it's like very obvious. Okay, yeah. So what you have to do is you have to do the Sopor method and you have to do it 2 times. Yeah, you have to do it 2 times. Why 2 times is because the first time Sopor is for the old equation. Is for the original equation. And then the second time Sopor is the new equation where you want to form the equation. Okay. But before I go on with the Sopor, I need to tell you the Sopor formula first. So I'm gonna write it up here. Okay, let's erase this. So the Sopor formula, the formula for SOR is x1 plus x2 will always be negative b over a. Okay, the sum of roots formula. Product of roots, hasil darab punca will be x1 times x2 will gives you c over a. Okay, and there's one more formula for Sopor is when you want to form equation. Okay, form equation ataupun you nak buat satu equation baru, the formula will be x squared minus SOR x plus POR equals 0. Okay, so later when I do 2 times Sopor, the second time Sopor, we will be working towards this. Understand? All right, so let's do the first time Sopor first. So for the first time Sopor is for the old equation. This is the original equation. And we already know the x1 is h, the x2 is k, because they already said these two are the roots, right? So now we do the SOR and we do the POR. Okay. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. You cannot use the m equals 6 from the m equals 6 here and then masuk dalam sini. Because if you use the m6 and you masuk dalam here, this m here, then what are you finding? Doesn't make sense. And also the soalan already asked you to say it in terms of m. Yeah, in terms of m. So that means your answer will be in terms of m. Later, your general form equation will have m inside. So it doesn't make sense if you put the m6 inside. Because if you ganti m is 6, then your answer will not have m already. Make sense, right? And also look at how they put the question. The m equals 6, they only put it at b1. They never put it up here. So when you do b2, the only information you can use is from this right here. Okay? All this, you cannot use it when you're doing B2, right? Only the atas punya fx saja boleh guna. Alright, hope you understand. Now I'm gonna continue. So the first SOR, I will use the formula lah. X1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. So h plus k equals to negative b over a. And the equation is already cantik in general form. You just have to put the b negative 2 and the a1 here. So now you get h plus k equals to positive 2. Now let's move on to the POR. POR formula is x1 times x2 equals c over a. That would be h times k equals to c over a, and the c from the equation I can see it 6 minus m over a is over 1. So your h times k is 6 minus m, right? Now we have to go do the second time swap. Okay, all right. When you reach here, it's good enough already. You don't have to do simultaneous. You don't have to do simultaneous. Go and find h and k separately. Tak payah, tak payah, tak payah. Unless they ask you to find h and k lah, then you do like that. But this one you don't have to do like that. For this type of question, you can straight away go do the second swap. Okay, and later these two will help you, right? When you're doing the second swap, these two information will help you. Okay, now I will do the second time swap by using the new roots, right? This one and this one. So the new roots is x1 is h plus k plus 1, and then the x2 is hk minus 1. Okay, so now we have to do the solve for lah. Okay, for the solve it will be this one plus this one, right? But I noticed something. The h plus k is already same with here, right? So why not I ganti dulu? I ganti dulu baru I tambah with this. It will be better, right? Yeah. So let's do it. H plus k, just sub 2 plus 1 and you get 3 straight away. So straight away you know already the x1 is actually 3. Okay. And then the x2 is hk minus 1, but you already know hk is 6 minus m from the first support. So you just end up getting 6 minus 1, which is 5 lah. So it's just 5 minus m, right? So now you just do the swap, you get the answer already. Okay. Okay, for the SOR, what's the formula? x1 plus x2. So it will be 3 plus 5 minus m. Okay, for this time, you don't have to write equals negative b over a because you don't have the b over a. Yeah, you cannot write equals to negative 2. You cannot put in the b as negative 2. Cannot. Because this roots, dia punya equation bukan ni. Yang equation ni, dia lain punya roots. Yeah, this equation, the roots is different. So you tak boleh tulis equals to negative 2. Tak boleh, tak boleh. So this one, you don't have to write the negative b over a. Just put 3 plus 5 minus n, cukup already. Okay, and the reason for that is because you're trying to form equation. And when you're trying to form equation, you will not have the ABC. You don't have the equation. Yeah lah, you trying to form where you mana ada dia punya equation. Okay, this equation bukan dia dia lain punya. Okay, so you end up getting 8 minus m, and it's fine. The m is there, but it's fine because the soalan say boleh in terms of m. Now for the por, it will be 3 times 5 minus m, which is like that. And now you just expand, you get 15 minus 3m. Okay. All right. Now after getting the SOR and POR, you can finally use this formula. Yeah, the form equation punya formula, this one, right? X squared minus SOR x plus POR equals 0. Okay, so I will have to write x squared minus SOR, and the SOR is this, right? Okay, my SOR has 2 terms, so I better put the bracket. Yeah, I better put bracket. If I don't put bracket, then wrongly. And then write x, and then plus POR equals 0, plus 15 minus 3m equals 0. All right, why I say I have to put bracket is because you have to expand, right? You have to expand the negative. So it becomes x squared minus 8 plus m. Okay, but we can also write it a little bit different because when you kembang dia jadi negative 8 plus m, right? So what I will do is I'll put a bracket like that, and since there's nothing outside here, I'll just put a plus here. Okay, yeah, because the negative go inside the bracket already. Yeah, sudah darab masuk. And then x tambah dengan 15 minus 3m equals 0. Yeah, this is good, and that's the answer. Okay, so you can see it's in general form and it's in terms of m, which is what the question wants. Okay, all right. I want to mention something. Just now, when I reach here, right, I actually decide to ganti terus, right? But actually, if you don't want to ganti, you want to ambil ini tambah ni, sudah tambah baru ganti the 2 and 6 minus m, boleh juga. You nak tambah dulu baru ganti pun boleh. Sama dengan por lah, you nak darab dulu baru ganti pun boleh. Tapi kalau you buat itu por, when you're doing the por, if you darab dulu you'll be much more complicated. Yeah, because imagine you ambil ini darab ni. Yeah, more complicated, right? So that's why I didn't choose to do it like that. I choose to ganti first. Yeah, because memang boleh ganti. H plus K is already same. That's why I straight away did it like that. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm done with this question. So 5 marks for this. Okay, let's move on. Okay, number 2. Let's see what chapter is this. All right, you see tangent costan. Yeah, definitely is trigonometry from 5 chapter 6. Okay. All right, so let's start with A. It is given that tangent theta is P such that P is a constant and theta is between 0 and 90, means quadrant 1 lah. Yeah, it means theta is in quadrant 1. Find cos 2 theta in terms of P. All right, this is under trigonometry lah. And what you have to do for this type of question is you have to draw. You have to draw. Okay, you have to draw. Yeah, because this type of question they give you tangent theta, ask you to find cos 2 theta. Ini soalan memang kena draw one. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to draw. After drawing it, label this information inside, and then only you try to find the cos 2 theta. Okay, I already know the cos 2 theta can use the double angle formula. It can change to cos square minus sine square, 1 minus cos square, and 2 sine square minus 1. Okay, but before we do that, the drawing step is important. The drawing step is necessary. You have to draw it. Okay, if you don't draw, you cannot do this question. Okay, even though the soalan never ask you to draw, you will have to draw also. Okay. Yeah, this type of question memang macam tu kan. When you see this type of question, when they give you sin theta cari cos theta ataupun give you cos theta cari tangent theta, confirm have to draw one. Confirm. Yeah, confirm. Yeah. You cannot like tell me like shift tangent like cannot one doesn't work one. Cannot do like that. Okay. All right. After drawing it, you have to know where to draw the hypotenuse line for the right angle, right? So there's 4 quadrants here, but they will tell you which quadrant one. So they already said in the question is quadrant one. So just draw a line here in quadrant one and mesti tarik to x-axis, and this will be 90, and that should be your theta. Okay. And now it's time to label this information. Tangent theta is P over 1 lah. Nothing bawah means P over 1. Okay, we all know is SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. So tangent dia punya formula is TOA. O-A. O-E. Okay, OA. So opposite over adjacent. So the small p is actually the opposite, and then the 1 is actually the adjacent. So if your angle is here, the opposite, this is the opposite, and then depan 90, that's the hypotenuse, and this is the adjacent. So now we can erase the O here and write P, right? So the P will be here lah, small p. And then the adjacent one, that will be down here. And we can find out the hypotenuse, right, by using Pythagoras theorem. And we should find it actually. Yeah, we should find it. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot do the cos 2 theta later. Okay. So how do you find it? Use Pythagoras theorem. Square root. Okay. P square plus 1 square. Okay. But 1 square is 1. So I will just do it fast. Just write 1. Okay. Okay. Kenapa saya tambah is because we are finding the hypotenuse. When you're finding the hypotenuse, the longest side, you have to take the other two side, square dulu, and then tambah. And then square root the whole thing. Okay. So now we are done with that. Sekarang baru kita cari apa yang dia suruh cari sini. Cos 2 theta. Okay. Okay. Now actually it doesn't matter already. Whatever they ask me to find also I can find it. Because I already have all 3 sides of the triangle. Of the right angle triangle. So bila you ada tiga side right angle triangle, you tak payah takut dah. Dia suruh cari apa pun you boleh. Sin pun boleh, cos pun boleh, tangent boleh, apa pun boleh. Okay. Tapi dia mau cari cos 2 theta lah. Okay, cos 2 theta you have to use the double angle formula because ya, yang ini sudut theta, yang ini cos 2 theta. So the only way is to use the double angle formula supaya dia jadi theta dulu. And then baru kita tengok side dia lah. Alright, cos 2 theta dia boleh tukar jadi 3, the double angle formula, right? You can change to cos square theta minus sin square theta ataupun 2 cos square theta minus 1 ataupun 1 minus 2 sin square theta. Alright, you can use any of this. Yeah, you can choose any, alright? But of course, okay, I think I will use this one lah. But actually, it doesn't matter one lah. You use the other one also, you get the same answer. Alright, I'll just use cos square minus sin square. So what I will do here is write cos square theta minus sin square theta. And now I will use the right angle triangle to find out the cos theta and the sin theta value. But this one is cos square. And what's the meaning of cos square theta? It means it's cos theta times cos theta. So we have to put a square here. Sin square meaning also same. It's actually sin theta times sin theta. So I'll square it outside here. Alright, let's find out the cos theta first. Cos punya formula is SOHCAHTOA, right? So cos is kah. So it's adjacent or hypotenuse. So you refer the diagram here, adjacent is 1. And then hypotenuse is square root p square plus 1. Just put it like that. And then for sin square theta, I need to find out sin theta and then square the value lah. Alright, sin theta is SOH, opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is depan sudut. So depan sudut is p over the hypotenuse is square root p square plus 1. Alright, now we have to square first. Sudah square baru tolak. So square, you have to atas pun kena square, bawah pun kena square. Atas square dulu, 1 square is 1. Bawah pun kena square. But when you bawah square, the square root hilang lah. Yeah. So you just left with whatever inside p square plus 1. Minus, here also same. P kena square, jadi p square. And then the bawah also square. And when you square, the whole square root disappears, left with p square plus 1. Okay, now I can see that it's 2 separate fractions, but they have the same denominator. So bila bawah dia sama, denominator sama, you can actually combine it into a single fraction. And then atas tolak atas 1 minus p square. And that should be the answer. So your answer would be in terms of p lah. Yeah, the soalan here also say already, right, in terms of P. Okay. All right. Moving on. Soalan B1. Sketch the graph of y equals negative sine 2x for x between 0 and 3 pi over 2. Okay, this is a sketch question. And yeah, we have to sketch lah. Okay. I did notice that they want you to draw 0 until 3 pi over 2 only. 3 pi over 2 is in radian lah. And in degree is 270 degrees. Okay. But we don't care about that first. Let's try to get the shape right first. Let's try to get the shape of the graph correct first. Okay. All right. Negative sine 2x. All right. Let's focus on sine 2x. So sine 2x, let's do like a small working here. So sine 2x is basically two sine graph, one sine graph, two sine graph, right? But this is 360. Okay. Yeah, this is 360, 2 pi. And now they want to do negative. So what it means is, okay, originally is 1, negative 1 like that. But when you do negative, is the whole thing have to terbalik kan. Everything have to terbalik kan. So it become like that, like that, like that, like that, right? And then all this is gone already. So this is how it looks like if you draw until 2 pi, okay? The 3 pi over 2 later, we worry about that later. Okay? Yeah, later after we cut the 90, 180, 270, 360, then only I erase the extra part. So now let's start to sketch it. So let's draw it like that. And then the x-axis like this. Okay. And then 0, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. All right. I think it's better if you draw the shape first. Yeah, draw the whole sine graph shape. Means jangan potong dulu lah. Yeah, because I'm using the straight away sketch punya cara. Actually, there's a method that I teach my student, which is do the working first, right? Do the working like ganti 0, 1, negative 1. That method is slower, but that method is good also. For very difficult question is good also, because when you do that, they will give you the exact coordinate, so you are not confused. But I never do that method for this question because this question is quite easy. It's just negative sine 2x. That's why I straight away go into drawing. Okay. Okay, so I will draw the shape first. So it's like a sine graph basically. It's just the sine graph sudah terbalikkan lah. So like that, like that, like that, right? Okay, I know the x-axis is not long enough, but it's okay because I know I will end up erasing this part later. Okay, okay, so this will be 2 pi, and the middle of this will be here. So that will be pi, and then if this part middle half again is pi over 2 here, and then this is 3 pi over 2. So as you can see, we will erase off this part because they want to draw on the 3 pi over 2. So we erase this, and then we are done, right? So this is how you do it. Okay, now I think I have to label the maximum value here. This 1 and negative 1. Yeah, because there's no number here, right? No number here is 1. That means the amplitude is 1. All right, so I'm done with the B1. Oh, I forgot to label the equation. Y equals negative sine 2x. All right, let's do B2. Okay, hence using the same axis, okay, sketch a suitable straight line to find the number of solution for the equation negative pi over 4 equals sine x cos x for 0 until 3 over 2. State the number of solution. Okay, this is like standard lah. That's how they always ask. Okay, after they ask you to sketch, they will ask you to find number of solution. Okay, to find the number of solution. Okay, number of solution means you nak cari dia intersection berapa kali. Dia punya intersect berapa kali. But first you have to draw the straight line first. And in order to do the straight line, you have to have the equation of the straight line. So equation of straight line mesti y equal mx plus c, right? Tapi dia tak bagi equation y equal mx plus c. Yang equation dia bagi is like that. Negative pi over 4 equals sin x cos x. So what you have to do is you have to jadikan supaya equation ni ada y dulu. Ya, jadikan dia ada y dulu. Okay. So how to jadikan ada y? Tengok last question. So y is negative sine 2x. So just tukar jadi negative sine 2x. Then you can have the y already. Okay. So my mission now is to jadikan ada y. So I want it to be negative sine 2x. Because negative sine 2x is y. So if you look at your equation here, ada tak negative sine 2x? Tak ada. But I did see that there is a sine x cos x here. And also there is some connection between this and the sine 2x. And if you are familiar with the formula for basic identity, not basic identity, the double angle formula for sine 2x, you will know it, right? Sine 2x, actually, if you got hafal the formula, you can see it fast, right? Sine 2x, dia boleh tukar jadi 2 sine x cos x. Okay, this formula is actually given in the exam. Okay, yeah, but still I will ask my student to memorize it lah. Because when you memorize it, you can take it out whenever you want, right? Dia boleh, like, anytime you want, you can just take it out. You don't have to flip the formula, flip to the formula sheet. Okay, let's continue here. So I want it to be 2 sine x cos x. So what you can do here is just times 2 lah. Yeah, both side times 2. So you end up getting negative pi over 2 because when you times 2, you cut left with 2 dekat bawah. This side also times 2, you get 2 sine x cos x, right? But if you change this to sine 2x, you can't get y because the y is negative sine 2x, right? But it's okay because there is a negative here. So what you can do is you can pindah the negative here. So it becomes negative sine 2x like that, right? Or you can also say like tukar tanda for everyone lah. Yeah, negative jadi positive, this one jadi negative. Yeah, can also. Okay. Alright, now you can get your y already because the negative sine 2x is your y, right? So y is pi over 2. And this is the equation of straight line. Y equals pi over 2. And your job now is to draw this line right here and find out the number of solution. Okay, you can see that this equation dia tak ada x. It's just y equals number saja. Pi bukan unknown, pi is 3.142 blah 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 macam tu kan. So to draw this line will be a horizontal line. Dia takkan jadi line yang sengit. Line ni dia akan jadi horizontal. Okay, so the way to draw this line is you pergi y axis, cari pi over 2 and then draw a horizontal line. So pergi y axis cari pi over 2. But where is pi over 2? Okay, sini 1, right? So pi over 2 dia akan dekat mana? Bawah sini ke atas macam mana? Alright, you can just press in your calculator pi over 2. Okay, so you can use the calculator pi, tekan shift and then the times 10 button and then over 2, right? So if you press change to decimal, they actually give you 1.57 blah blah blah, right? Right. So you know the pi over 2 is not below the 1 because it's 1.57. So I think I can roughly like estimate the position. So let me extend this line. So 1, okay, so 1 is here, right? So 2 is like around here. So 1.5 is like around here lah. So this is your pi over 2. Okay, it doesn't have to be accurate one. This is a sketch question. Okay, so just lebih kurang agak-agak. Okay, so here and where how you should draw the line like that No, it will be a horizontal line. Exactly horizontal. Exactly horizontal. And write the equation for the line also. Y equals pi over 2. Okay, yeah. Kalau dia y equals number punya line mesti horizontal. Okay, so now you can see the number of solution is 0 because the line never touches the graph at all. So state the number of solution, the NOS is 0 lah. In other words, dia punya number, tak ada number of solution lah. Tiada penyelesaian. Okay, yeah, 0. Okay, I think I'm done with the whole question. So how many marks? 3 marks, 5 marks, 8 marks. Okay, not too bad. Let's keep going. Alright, number 3, very obvious is chapter 1 function. Yep. So diagram 3 shows the relation of 3 sets. Okay, let's study the diagram first. Okay, I can see some arrows here. Oh, I can actually get some information here, right? So I think I will write down the information here right now. Okay, so I think I'll do my A here. So the first information is G. Okay, look at the arrow carefully. The arrow is going that way. So this one should be GX. GX, and then the arrow going that way, so equals to 3x minus 5. Yeah, that's the first information you can get from the diagram. And then comma, you have another one here, but look at the arrow. Look at the arrow, it's going that way. So it will be GF and then X. And the arrow is going the other way. So that would be the answer, 4 minus 6x. Right? Okay, now with these two information, they want to find GF2. Yeah, this one easy lah. GF2, like just use this to do, right? So GF2 means you ambil 2 ganti dalam GFX punya X. I repeat, ambil 2 ganti dalam GFX punya X. So GFX is 4 minus 6x. So ganti dalam GFX punya X, the X ganti 2 lah. Okay, tak boleh buat 4 minus 6 dulu, kena buat 6 times 2 dulu. So negative 6 times 2, negative 12, 4 minus 12, negative 8. Siap, that's the answer. Now, for B, they said, without finding G inverse X, determine fx. Okay, what does it mean by without finding G inverse? Okay, I don't know why they mentioned something like that, but it's okay. The method I will use will not involve finding G inverse also. Yeah, but it's okay. Let's just do it. Yeah, just do it like how we usually do it lah. So we have the GX and we have the GFX. So if you want to find fx, yeah, you don't need to find G inverse also. I don't know why they say without finding G. Whatever lah. Yeah. Okay, so bagi single function, bagi composite function, tapi nak cari balik single. This one have two method, right? So they give you GX, give you GFX, nak cari balik FX. So this type of question is also quite famous in the exam. Famous for being difficult. Ataupun famous for student forgetting the cara. Okay, so what's the first thing you do is you start with the composite function first. G big bracket fx equals to 4 minus 6x. And then now you have to check whether dalam ada ke dalam tak ada. Kalau dalam ada dengan dalam tak ada, cara dia tak sama. The method we use will be different depending on whether you ada dalam or ada ataupun tak ada. And kalau ada dalam, you have to let. That one, the working will be susah sikit. That one you have to let. Kalau dalam tak ada, then that one tak payah let. Okay. Alright, the 4 minus 6x, leave it first. So sekarang kita check dalam. The way I teach my student is I always tell them, kalau dalam ada kena let, kalau dalam tak ada tak payah let. See, very easy to remember. So just check whether dalam ada ke tak ada. So if tengok dalam fx ada ke tak ada. Tak ada, fx is what you're trying to find. That means you don't have to let. Yeah, don't have to let. Kalau dalam tak ada, tak payah let. Okay. And what you have to do, kalau dalam tak ada, terus tengok luar. Luar confirm mesti ada. Ya, sebab dalam tak ada kan, luar confirm mesti ada. Takkanlah dalam pun tak ada, luar pun tak ada. Kalau dua-dua tak ada, then tak boleh buat dah. So dalam tak ada, luar mesti ada. So kalau you tengok luar, luar adalah G. And you have the GX. You see? So GX is 3X minus 5. Okay. Tapi, you kena ambil FX ganti dalam GX punya X. Okay, ambil fx ganti dalam gx punya x. So gx is 3x minus 5. Tapi bila you tulis 3x minus 5, x tu kena ganti dengan fx macam tu. Okay. But of course, you can only do it like that when dalam tak ada. Kalau dalam ada, you jangan buat cara ni. Kalau dalam ada, you kena ganti masuk dalam punya function dulu and then use the let punya cara. Okay, that one is like much more work to do. Kalau dia case yang macam tu. Okay, but let's come back here. Nak cari fx kan? Pindah 5, pindah 3, then kau tim lah. Alright, pindah the minus 5, hantar jadi plus 5. 4 plus 5 is 9 minus 6x. Now fx is pindah 3 jadi bahagi 3. But there's 2 terms here. So 2 terms also can divide by 3. 9 divided 3 is 3. Negative 6x divided 3 is negative 2x. And that's the answer. Yep. Alright, now let's move on. C1. So this is C, this is question 1. From answer in B, find F inverse. Okay, from B, I mean this one, fx is 3 minus 2x. So let's write that down. Okay, they are asking for F inverse x. Okay, yeah, buat macam biasa lah. Okay, the way I always teach my student to find inverse is I always tell them let both sides equals to A. Yeah, so both sides. So the left hand side fx equals to A. The right side also 3 minus 2x equals A. Yeah, this is the left side, this is the right side. And let both sides equals to A. And then both sides also cari x, cari x. So from here, how you find x? You can pindah the f to the other side. It becomes f inverse. Right, f inverse A. From here also do the same. Find x. Negative 2x, pindah 3 jadi A minus 3. And now pindah negative dulu. When you pindah negative, kena tukar tanda, right? But there's 2 terms. So dua-dua term pun kena tukar tanda jadi 3 minus A. Ya, positive A jadi negative A, negative 3 jadi positive 3. Tapi 3 tu I tulis depan lah. Alright, now you get your x. X is 3 minus A over 2. But according here, x is F inverse A. That means F inverse A is 3 minus A over 2. So your F inverse x is 3 minus x over 2. Yeah, basically just changing the A to X lah. Okay. Okay, for the inverse punya cara, ada banyak cara lah. Semua cikgu ajar cara lain. But this is how I usually do it. Okay. But it's not, the cara is not important. The important thing here is you get the same answer lah. Okay. So I'm done with the C1. Ini jawapan dia. Okay. Not so bad. It's quite easy also. Alright, second question. Determine the value of x if f inverse gx equals to 4 gf2. Okay, I think I have to do the left hand side and right hand side separately. So the left hand side is f inverse gx, and do I have that? I don't think so. I have gf, but I don't have f inverse gx. So I think I have to do it myself, and you can do it easily because you already have the gx and f inverse x. Okay, but first we have to masuk gx dulu. Ya, kena masuk dalam dulu kan. So gx, do I have it? Let's scroll up. Yes, 3x minus 5. Masukkan saja. Lepas tu, next baris, baru you ambil 3x minus 5, ganti dalam f inverse x punya x. And f inverse x, baru je you cari tadi. This one, 3 minus x over 2. So it becomes 3 minus bracket over 2, but the x have to ganti with 3x minus 5. Now continue, 3 minus 3x plus 5 over 2. Because when you minus bracket 2 terms, the 2 terms inside have to tukar tanda, right? Okay, now you end up with 8 minus 3x over 2. Okay, that's the left hand side, but there's the right hand side. The right hand side is 4 times gf2. But hold on, do I have gfx or gf2? Yes, because when you do A just now, you already find out the gf2. And if you go back here, gf2 is negative 8. So you can just write 4 times negative 8. right? Yeah, because GF2 is negative 8. There's a 4, don't forget the 4. Okay? So 4 times negative 8 gives you negative 32. Here also negative 32. Here also negative 32 lah. But the soalan asks to find x now. So now you just pindah 2 dulu. Okay, pindah 2 dulu. So 8 minus 3x. Negative 32 times 2 is negative 64. Now pindah 8. The 8 here is plus 8. So hantar jadi minus 8. Negative 64 minus 8 is negative 72. And the final step is to find x. Pindah negative. So jadi positive 72 divide 3. That gives us 24. So that's the answer. Okay. Alright. I think that's all. Okay, let's do number 4. Okay, this looks like a progression. So progression is Janjang, so it's form 4, chapter 5, is it? 5 or 6? Chapter 5, yeah, progression. Okay, let's read and see whether it's arithmetic or geometric. Alright, so the first line, listing out all the terms is not accepted for this question. Okay, yeah, this one tak penting lah. And then diagram 4 shows part of the pattern that is made from an infinite number of semicircles on a straight line whose diameters form a geometric progression. So this gives it away already. It's a geometric progression. So later we have to use the geometric progression punya formula. Okay, and I think I will just write it down the formula now. So what's the formula for geometric progression? For Tn, it will be AR power n minus 1. And then for Sn, it will be a bracket 1 minus r power n over 1 minus r, or sometimes it can be r minus 1 bawah, and then here is r power n minus 1, depending on whether your r is bigger than 1 or smaller than 1 lah. You will use this when your r is smaller than 1. Okay, you will use this when your r is bigger than 1. Okay, and the last formula is s infinity a over 1 minus r. The s infinity only exists in geometric. Okay, yeah, so these are all the formulas you need to know for geometric progression. Okay, they did mention that, let's read again, pattern that is made from infinite number of semicircle. So this goes on forever. It doesn't stop here actually. It goes on forever. On a straight line whose diameters form a geometric. Okay, diameter is the length from here to here. Itu adalah diameter, right? Okay, so you can see the next diameter is shorter. The next one even shorter, even shorter, even shorter, right? But you actually realize this height is also jadi shorter, right? Jadi lebih pendek. And it makes sense actually, because when the diameter becomes shorter, it means the radius is also, yeah, the distance from here to here is also getting lesser and lesser. That's why it makes sense lah. Why it becomes shorter and shorter. Okay. Yeah. So everything is okay. I understand everything. Now let's baca bawah. As more semicircles are added to the pattern, the total length of the diameters approaches 38 cm. The total length, okay. The common ratio of the geometry of the diameter is 4 or 5. Soalan A1, find the diameter in cm of the first semicircle. Okay, I think I'll do it here. Alright, what is 38? As more semicircles added to the pattern. They already said there's infinite number of semicircles. So if you keep adding, it will just be more and more lah, infinite lah. And then the total length. So this word gives it away already. Kalau dia cakap total means kena buat sum, right? The total jumlah, right? Kena tambah. So the total length of diameter 38. So I think S infinity is 38 lah. Alright? And your T1 will be the diameter for this. Yeah, that will be your T1 here. Okay? And your T2 will be here and so on lah. Okay? Yeah, because they say the diameter form a geometric progression, right? Okay, but they never give us the length of the diameter here. But they did give us the ratio here is 4 over 5. And it makes sense why the ratio is 4 over 5. Because remember they said this goes on forever. So if it goes on forever, then your r must be smaller than 1. Yeah, that's why r4 or 5 is smaller than 1. So what happens is the length here, the diameter here becomes smaller and smaller, right? But it will become so small that eventually it just ends up becoming like it becomes shorter and shorter. Eventually it's just approaching 0 lah. It's approaching 0. So it's only possible to, that's why it's possible to find the S infinity. Yeah, because the length is shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Okay, so now I think I will use the S infinity formula, A over 1 minus R. But you have the R already lah, 4 over 5 equals to 38. So now you can find your A. Okay, 1 minus 4 over 5 is 1 over 5. And then hantar atas jadi darab, you get 38 over 5. Okay, alright, if you write in decimal, let's see what they give you. Okay, 7.6. Dia tak bagi banyak-banyak decimal place. So I think you write 7.6 also not bad. But they ask us to find what? The diameter of the first semicircle. So 7.6 cm lah. Yeah, because A is the first term, and the first term is the diameter for the first semicircle. So now let's write it here, 7.6 cm. And you can actually find the second diameter, and I think I will find it now, right? So how to find it is take 7.6 times with 4 over 5, because 4 over 5 is the ratio. So I will tekan now 7.6 times 4 over 5, and I got the diameter here to be 6.08. 6.08 cm. That's the T2. Okay. And then you can find the T3 also. Let's tekan again. Answer times 4 divided 5. Okay, I get 4.864 cm. That's the diameter. Yeah. Okay, don't have to find all of it lah. Just the first three terms is good enough already. Okay. All right, let's continue for question 2. Find the arc length of the eighth semicircle in terms of pi. So the eighth semicircle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's this one lah, the T8. But they don't want to find the diameter, they want to find the arc length. Okay, so I think I have to use the arc length formula later. So the arc length formula, do you know what is the formula? R theta, right? But you can also use the other formula, which is 2 pi r times theta over 360. Okay, all right, if you use this formula, make sure your theta is in radian. But if you use this formula, you make sure the theta is in degrees. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Both this formula will give you the same answer. Okay, this formula you learn it in Form 5 Chapter 1, the circular measure, right? And this formula you learn it in Form 2. Okay, to find the arc, the lengkok, right? Lengkok. So first, so I think I'll just use this formula. But I think first you have to get the radius first. Without the radius, you cannot use this formula. And I think you start finding T8 first lah, which is the diameter, right? And then after you get the diameter, then baru bahagi dua dapat radius, and then baru darab dengan theta. And then the theta will just be 180 degree in radian is pi lah. Okay, okay, so I think enough planning already. Now starts to do already. So first thing first is find the diameter, which is finding T8. Alright, I already have the A and R. The A is 7.6. The R is 4 over 5. I need this. I need the A and R to find the T8. And the Tn formula is AR power n minus 1. So 7.6 times 4 over 5 power 7. And I press this and see what I get. 7.6. Okay, I tekan 4 over 5 power 7 dulu and then darab 7.6. Okay, my calculator gave me 1.5938. Okay, dia bagi banyak decimal place, but we always write 4 significant figures kalau dia bagi banyak-banyak macam tu. So 1.594 is enough. And don't forget, this is the diameter. This is the diameter for the 8th semicircle. But they're asking to find arc length. So in order to find the arc length, I will use the formula r theta, right? But the r will be 1.594 divided by 2. Yeah, because 1.594 is the diameter. And then the theta will just be pi. Okay, because theta is the angle subtended at the center, right? So if you look at this, these are all semicircles, so the angle will be 180. But in radian is pi lah. So that's why it's pi radian. Okay, now I'll press this one bahagi dua. And the pi, I don't think I will press it because they say in terms of pi. So you don't have tekan pi lah. Okay, I'll just use the answer button, divide by 2. Okay, let's write 4 significant figure also. 0.7969. And pi lah, 7969 pi. And let's write cm because it's the arc length. Arc length. Okay, I think I'm done with the A1, A2. Now let's do B. Okay, do it here. Okay, given that the sum of the area of the first n blue semicircle is less than 12 pi, find value of n. So definitely you have to use the Sn formula. But let's see. The progression just now, we use diameter to form it. Right? We use diameter. But this one is sum of area of first n blue semicircle. So I think what I have to do now is form a new progression. Form a new progression using the area of, oh, they say blue. So I think I have to focus on the blue semicircle. So this will be your first term, but I have to find the area. The area of this will be the first term, and then the area of this will be the second term, and yes, and so on lah. Okay, but I don't think you. Okay, I think we have to find the first two area at least. Otherwise, you can't get the ratio. Okay, yeah, I think you have to do this area for this and this. Then only you can find out the A and R. Then baru guna SN formula. Okay, all right. So let's form the new progression. The first blue circle, dia punya area akan jadi, okay, let's write the formula. So area formula we will use is 1 over 2 r square theta. But of course you can use the other formula also, pi r square times theta over 360. If you're using this formula, you use the theta will be in radian lah. If you want to use this formula you learn in Form 5 Chapter 1. And for the other formula can also, but make sure the theta is in degree if you want to use this. Okay. Alright, I think I will just use this formula 1 over 2 r square theta. So let's start. 1 over 2 r square theta. The radius, you can refer the diameter here 7.6, but have to divide 2. So 7.6 divided by 2, just quickly press it, you get 3.8. So this is 3.8. And then the theta has to be in radian. The theta is 180 degrees. In radian is pi lah. And then you just quickly press 3.8 square divided by 2. That gives you 7.22. And that's your first term. And then comma, comma, let's go to the T2, second term. Okay, second term will be the area of this circle. Not this one, because they already said blue circle. So the diameter is 4.864. So you have to divide by 2 to get the radius. Okay, so later it becomes 1 over 2 r square. Now let's press 4.864 divided by 2. So the calculator give me 2.432 as the radius. So that is the radius for this blue circle. And then the theta angle is pi also. Pi also. And then you press all this, you get 2.957 pi. Yeah, just write 4 significant figures lah. Okay, let me double check with the calculator. 3.8 square divided by 2. Yeah, 2.432. Yeah, correct lah. Okay, if you want to find the third term can also, just find the area of this, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's way too much work already. And also this is enough information already to know if you want to know the A and R, the first two terms, if you have the first two terms, is enough to get the AR already. So the A is 7.225 lah. And the R, the ratio will be this one bahagi this one. And when you take this one, divide this one, the pi can cut. Yeah, the pi will hilang already. Because when you divide the pi, potong already. So you just press 2.957, divide with 7.22. And you will get, you have so many decimal places. I think I'll write 4 same figure also, 0.4096. And now you can proceed with this. Sum of the area, first n blue circle is less than 12, right? That means the Sn in this progression is less than 12 pi. Yeah, sum must use S formula, right? And then area, yeah, these are all area, right? So the sum of all this area, less than 12, find the value of n. Yeah, this is how you do it. All right, the Sn formula for geometric, I write it up here just now. So which one you want to use? 1 minus r version or r minus 1 version? So let's look at our r now. 0 point something, so it's less than 1. So less than 1, 1 minus. So this is the formula we will use. Okay, so we write Sn. And then here will be 1 minus r, 1 minus 0.4096. And then up here will be a, 1 minus r power n, so 7.22 pi. And then let's use big bracket, 1 minus 0.4096 power n. And the n we don't have, because we're trying to find the n. And then less than 12 pi. Okay, all right. Let's focus on finding the n here lah. This is what we want to find, the n here. Okay, first thing first, I think I will tekan the bawah first, and then pindah atas, right? So I think I will continue here. So 1 minus 0.4096 power n, okay, which is this one. And then I will tekan 12 pi. Okay, I'll tekan this first. 1 minus 0.4096. Okay, use the answer button. 1 minus answer. I get 0.59, blah, blah, blah. And then times with 12, right? Times with 12. The pi, you can leave it. Because this pi and this pi eventually will get cut off. So you times with 12. Times with 12. And then straight away divide with 7.22. Yeah. Straight away divide with 7.22. Yeah. So 1 minus 0.4096 times 12. And then divide with 7.22. Alright, I got 0.9813. Okay, 0.9813. And the symbol here, of course, is smaller lah. You only terbalik the symbol when you bahagi negative number. You never divide negative just now. Alright, now how to find n? Okay, I think first I pindah the 1 there first lah. So negative 0.4096 power n. Okay, pindah 1 jadi minus 1. So answer minus 1. Negative. Okay, my calculator give me 0.01873. 4 significant figures. And then now pindah negative. Yeah, pindah negative. So 96 power n. When you pindah negative, the smaller become bigger already lah. 0.01873. Okay, why the smaller suddenly become bigger is because when you pindah negative here, what's happening here is you taking this divide negative 1, right? And you all know when you divide negative, the symbol have to flip. Okay, so now you can find the n. Alright, this one have to use tambah log punya cara lah. Because this number and this number tak boleh tukar same base. Just look at it, also you know already, like, yeah, ada decimal point. So you have to tambah log both sides, and we'll use base 10. Okay, so 0.4096 here, and then the power boleh hantar depan, still bigger here, and then 0.01873, and then now you can get your n. It'll be big, become smaller again, huh? Yeah, become smaller again, because later when you tekan this, it's negative. Okay, it's okay. We tekan this, log this one, bahagi log this one first. So let me press, log 0.01873 divide log 0.4096, base 10, of course. Alright, I got 4.456. 4.456. And let me explain why you have to write smaller. Why suddenly it becomes smaller again? Okay, just now you start with smaller, 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 but why here become bigger is because you divide negative, right? But then why you bigger already, and then bigger already, and then suddenly become smaller again? Because here you divide negative again. Yeah, and when you take this number divide with negative, the symbol memang kena flip one lah. Okay, but sir, how you know this one is negative? Because I hafal already. Whenever it's log 0 point something, confirm it will be negative one. And of course, if you want to try with your calculator, you can try. Just press this separately. Yeah, just tekan ni sahaja, you will know that it's negative. That's why when you take this one divide this one, you get positive, because this one is also negative. So negative, you want negative, positive, right? But the main point here is you have to terbalik lah, the bigger jadi smaller. So your n is approximately berapa? Because n stands for term ke berapa, right? Term ke berapa. So it cannot be have decimal. So what is n smaller? Okay, what's the closest integer smaller than 4.456? 4 lah. 4 lah. Bukan 5, Dia dah cakap smaller. So 4 is the answer. So find the value of n. The n is 4. Okay. That means when the n is 4, the sum of the area for first 4 blue semicircle is less than 12 pi. That's what it means. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done. That's all. Alright, continue with number 5 now. Okay, what chapter is this? Okay, I see this arrow, I know already. This arrow means vector. So it's from 4. Chapter 6 or 7? I always confuse the two. I think it's 7. Yeah. 6 is coordinate geometry, right? No. 6 is linear law. 7 is coordinate geometry. 8 is vector. So I think this is 8. Actually, I'm not sure, 7 or 8. But I think it's 8. Okay lah, whatever lah, not that important anyway. Okay, solution by scale drawing are not accepted. Ini tak penting. Diagram 5 shows 2 points on the Cartesian plan. Where's 2 points? Okay, first point is A, 6, -11, B, -4, 13. Alright, I can tell you this question is a coordinate vector question. Yeah, how I know is because they give you a Cartesian plane. And what do I mean by coordinate vector question? It means the answer later will be in terms of ij. Yeah, it will be in terms of ij. For coordinate vector, means the ij vector lah. Alright, soalan A, they ask you to find vector A to B, and trust me, it will be in terms of ij. So A to B means what? So I will draw a line from A to B. The arrow is going this way, and you're trying to find the vector in terms of ij. Okay, so when you write the vector, it's usually like that, xi plus yj, but you can also write it in the column vector form. Just write bracket and then x atas y bawah. Okay, yeah, but this question never said which form, so you can choose mana-mana form pun boleh lah. But I lebih prefer the column vector form. Yeah, because it looks much more kemas. Alright, so for the x, what you do is, because you are finding A to B, right? So what you have to find is berapa ke kiri and then berapa ke atas. Okay, remember when the nombor atas is for pergerakan yang kiri kanan. Yeah, this one is for pergerakan kiri kanan, and this one is for pergerakan atas bawah. And from A, if you start from A, you have to go left first. You cannot go up, because dia kena horizontal movement dulu. So horizontal go kiri, right? Tapi pergi kiri berapa? Just take -4 minus 6 lah. Yeah, because you're going from A to B. If you're going from B to A, then you have to take 6 minus -4. So going from A to B means what? B punya coordinate minus A punya coordinate, because you're going from A to B. So you take B punya coordinate minus A punya coordinate. So B punya coordinate -4 minus A punya coordinate 6. And then for the bawah also same. B punya coordinate 13 minus with -11, like that. Right? So let's try. What if I said CD? CD vector. How do you find the vector kalau dia bagi C and D punya coordinate? Kalau nak cari CD, mesti ambil D punya coordinate tolak C punya coordinate. not the other way. All right, so here you get negative 10 atas, and here you get 24. So that's the answer. If you want to write in this form also can. It would be negative 10i plus 24j lah, but it's the same thing lah. Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right, for B, point C lies on the same Cartesian plane. All right, it is given that OC is this, such that M is a constant. Okay, you can see the point C is not labeled here, but it's okay. They got give you the OC, so I think I will not label also. I will just write it down. So OC is M plus 2I plus 12J. But I think I'll write it in the column vector form. Sebab tadi saya sudah guna column vector punya format. So sekarang pun saya guna column vector lah. M plus 2 atas, 12 bawah. Okay. Alright, done. Such that M is constant. Okay, understand. Alright, now, if OC is parallel to AB, find the value of M by using vectors arithmetic operations. Okay, the keyword here is parallel, right? When we are doing vector and two vectors are parallel, what you can do is you can take these two vector equals and then tengah-tengah letak lambda. Ya, itu memang cara dia. Okay. But actually there's a shortcut tau. Actually there's a shortcut. If two vectors are parallel, OC and AB like that, you can actually do it fast. Just take this one bahagi this one equals to this one bahagi this one. If you do it like that, you will get the answer very fast. So I'm going to show you M plus 2 over with negative 10 equals to 12 over with 24. And then just keep going from here. 12 and 24 potong jadi 1 over 2. So M plus 2. Negative 10 hantar jadi darab 1 over 2. Darab negative 10 is negative 5. And then minus 2, negative 7. Siap, that's the answer. Right? This is the fast way, right? But I think they already said by using vectors arithmetic operations. So maybe you cannot do it like that. Yeah, maybe you cannot use the shortcut method. So I think I show you the conventional method lah. Conventional means like the regular method, the method we all know. So the method that we all know is OC vector parallel to AB, right? So letak lambda. Okay, letak lambda. So OC is M plus 212. It's okay if you leave it in the column vector form. It doesn't affect the working. And then lambda AB is negative 10 to 24. And then the lambda you have to darab masuk. Lepas darab masuk, you banding lah. So negative 10 lambda, 24 lambda here. And then M plus 2, 12. Oh, by the way, lambda is actually the ratio. Okay, it's actually the ratio for OC to AB. Okay. Alright, so to find this, we banding atas dengan atas, bawah dengan bawah. In other words, I punya ganti dengan I lah. J banding dengan J. So now becomes M plus 2 equals to negative 10 lambda. And then the other one is 12 equals to 24 lambda. Alright, let's find lambda first from here. 1 over 2. And then sub inside M plus 2 equals to negative 10 bracket 1 over 2. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Here is M plus 2. So M is negative 7. This is our final answer. So you can see the jawapan sama with this lah. Okay. But this method is also quite useful sometimes. Right? That's why I show it to you also lah. Okay. Alright. Sudah siap? Now let's do number 2. Hence determine the unit vector in the direction of OC. State your answer in the form of column vector. Okay, this question there is specific cakap nak column vector, so we have to follow lah. Alright, so unit vector punya formula is what? So in order to find the unit vector, dia punya simbol macam ni unit vector, the formula is 1 over magnitude of OC times with vector OC. That's the formula for unit vector. Okay, so 1 over magnitude of OC times with the vector OC. Okay, so we have to find the magnitude of OC first, right? So to find the magnitude of OC, you have to use Pythagoras theorem. Square root, bracket square plus bracket square. And inside the bracket, you have to masuk the number before ij. Yeah, the perkali for ij. Because I is the horizontal movement, j is the vertical punya kotak. So masuk Pythagoras theorem to find the hypotenuse, the magnitude. But we need our vector OC punya ij dulu. So yeah, it can tengok dari sini lah. Tapi M sudah tahu tadi negative 7. So plus 2 is negative 5i plus 12j. Yeah, so now you can see the I is negative 5, this one is 12. And if you press all this, you get 13. In other words, the magnitude is 13. Tapi belum siap nak cari unit vector. So the unit vector, this is the symbol for unit vector. Formula is 1 over magnitude is 13 times with the magnitude OC in terms of ij, negative 5, 12. They already said it has to be in column vector form. So we didn't, so that's why I don't write the ij already. Okay, I read it like that. So the final answer comes out the negative 5 over 13, 12 over 13, and that's all. So that's it. All right. Okay, number 6. Yes. Okay, we have an interesting diagram here. So let's see what chapter first. Okay, perimeter length. Okay, I still don't know what chapter is this. Maybe simultaneous. Okay, it's okay. Let's read first. One has a set of 10 identical rectangular cards for a children's game. What's the meaning of identical? Identical means size dear summer, exactly same. Okay, and there's 10. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, yeah, there's 10, and they look identical also. Yeah, all the size look similar also. Look like exactly same size. Okay, these cards can be arranged as shown in diagram 6. Okay, so far nothing important here. Let's scroll down. It is given that the perimeter of arrangement is 81. Okay, this is important. Big P is 81. The big P is the perimeter. It means the outside baris tambah semua dapat 81 lah. Okay, what else? The area of each card is 17.5 cm square. So one card like that is 17.5 cm square. And there's 10 identical cards. Okay, so far so good. A, find the length in cm and the width in cm of one card. Okay, I think the first thing you have to do is jadikan the length x, the width y first. Yeah, because you're trying to find the length and width, so I jadikan dia x, y. And now I will use this information to form an equation. Okay, and then use the area to form another equation. So I think this is a simultaneous equation punya chapter. Yeah, definitely simultaneous equation. Okay. Okay, so the area is 17.5, but it's area for one card. So we already know xy is 17.5 lah. So this is the equation 2. Okay, yeah, this one's easy. So that's it. But we need another equation, and then later we do simultaneous samaan serentak. Okay, perimeter is 81, so perimeter is the outside tambah semua, right? So let's count got how many x. So I'll use a highlighter to help me. So you can see there's 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, okay, 6x. Okay, this doesn't count because this one is not perimeter. You only take yang outside saja. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this one is half of it, right? But you can combine with this. So half half becomes 1. So there's 7 now lah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then half half, 6.5, and then 7, and then 7.5, and then 8. Yeah, 7.5, 8, 8x, and then here is 8.5, and then 9. Wait, let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. Hey, wait. Why? This one tak payah lah. What am I? Like, I think I'm I think I'm sleepy already. This one tak payah, right? Because this is not the inside. It's like ambil luar saja mah. This one is not perimeter tak payah tambah ni. Sorry. Okay, again one more time. 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there's 8x. 8x. Yeah, 8x. Okay. Okay, now let's count got how many y. Let's use another color, red color. Okay, so 1y, 2y, 3y, 4y, 5y, 6y, 7y, and then 8y, 9y, 10y. Yeah, so plus 10y equals 81. Yeah, I think I covered all the outside panjang already, right? Yeah, everything is highlight. Yeah, all the external sides already highlight. That means done. So that's your second equation. That's your equation 1 lah. All right, now we have to do simultaneous. And this one, you cannot use penghapusan. You cannot use elimination method. You have to use the substitution method because this type of question is one linear, one non-linear. So you have to use the substitution pergantian method. And for pergantian, usually we start with the linear equation and then cari x single or y single. And in this case, this is the linear, right? This is the non-linear because you have x, y stick together. So let's try to find x single. Actually, nak cari y single pun boleh, but I think I cari x single lah. So plus 10y pindah jadi minus 10y, and then everything divided by 8. So this is your equation 1, and then 2, and then this is 3. And then now you sub 3 into 2. Okay, sub 3 into 2. So what happens now? Your equation 2 becomes x times y. It becomes y times x equals 17.5. And then the x you sub this one, 81 minus 10y over 8. Like that. Okay. X times Y and Y times X is the same thing. Yeah. Alright, now the Y can ganti atas jadi 81Y, and then Y times 10Y is 10Y square. And then the 8 you want to do fast, you can straight away pindah jadi darab. Yeah, if you do like that, it's faster. So 17.5 times 8, you straight away get 140. And now you're trying to find y, but the y got square now, so you know it's a quadratic. And when you're dealing with quadratic, it has to be everything on one side equals 0, and then tekan calculator, tekan the ABC, all that lah. Okay, so negative 10y okay, I think I want, okay, later when I use the calculator to solve the quadratic, the a has to be positive. So what I will do is I will susun everything on the right side, because I want the a to be positive. So negative 10 pergi dulu jadi positive 10y square, and then 81y go there jadi minus 81y, and then plus 140. Yeah, if I did it like that, my a will be positive. Okay, but sir, the 0 is on the left side. It's okay lah, on the left side also can do also. So now you press calculator, and then later you fit in all this lah. Okay, alright, my calculator give me 28/5 and 5/2. So just write that. But of course, you have to kosong satu baris baru tulis. Okay, now for this baris, what you have to write? So you have to pindah balik lah. So the divide 5, when you pindah balik jadi 5, jadi darab 5y, and then 28 go there become minus 28. Same steps here. The bahagi 2 pindah jadi times 2, 2y, and then 5 jadi minus 5. Alright, there's two answers, but it can't be two answers, right? The y is the width, so I think the width can only have one answer. So which one should I reject? Okay, kalau sini satu positif, satu negatif, then confirm I reject the negative, because CM mana ada negative, right? But both are positive, so I don't know which one to reject, right? But it's okay. You just keep going, just continue finding the x. Yeah, just continue finding the x. I'm sure after you find the x, you will know which one to reject. So to find the x, we have to ganti balik here. So 81 minus 10y/8, but the y you ganti 28/5. Okay, I will straight away write the answer lah, because not enough space already. So I will just tekan 10 times 28/5 first, and then 81 minus answer, and then divide by 8. So I got 25/8 here. And then repeat the same thing here. This one is 5/2. So sub inside here. So 10 times 5/2. And then 81 minus answer. And then answer divide 8. Alright, my calculator give me 7. Okay, now we have to decide who to reject. Siapa kena reject. So I can see it already. You have to reject this one. Let me tell you why. Because the 28/5, if you change to decimal, what do you get? 5.6. Right? 5.6. So I'm going to write using red color here. And 25/8, if you change to decimal, you get 3 point something, 3.125. And now you know why I have to reject, right? Because x is the length, y is the width. And according to the diagram, the length is longer. Okay, the width is the shorter side. So it doesn't make sense if you get the width longer. So that's why you reject this. But this one makes sense. Yeah, x is 7. Yeah, 7, and it's the length, right? So it's longer than 5/2. 5/2 is 2.5. Yeah, so this is the answer that we end up taking. Okay, the soalan said find length and width in cm. So you already got it. So dot dot dot, the length is what? 7 centimeters, and the width is what? 2.5 centimeters, or you can write 5/2 also can. Okay, but if you take this, then it tak logic already, because if you take this, it's like the width becomes the length and the length becomes the width already. Yeah, that's why we reject that. Okay, all right, I'm done with the A. I'll do the B here. Okay, one wants to make another 10 identical cuts, so another 10 cuts. Is it possible for one to cut exactly 10 cuts from a piece of cardboard measuring 17 cm times 11 cm? Justify your answer. So let's try to imagine this. He would plan to make another 10 cuts, and there's a piece of cardboard with this size. So he go and buy another cardboard with this size, and he wants to know whether he can cut these 10 cuts from this cardboard. So I think you have to use area lah, correct Yeah, use the area, right? So find the area of cardboard, and then find the area of 10 cards, and then we will compare the two, then we will know whether it's enough or not. Yeah, whether the surface area is enough to get 10 cards or not. Okay, to find the area of cardboard is easy, just 17 times 11. So it's 187 cm square. But to find the area of 10 cards, that one also easy. The area of 10 cards is also easy, because you already know the area of one card, 17.5. So why not you just 17.5 times 10? Wait, times 10 or times 11? Times 10 lah, confirm times 10, right? Because, yeah, he's planning to cut 10 cards. Alright, so you get 175 cm square. So now you know already whether it's possible or not. So the area of 10 cards is 175, and the cardboard total area is 187. So the answer is yes lah. Yeah. So is it possible for one? Yes. And then I'll write since 175 is less than 187. In other words, the 10 cards area is less than the cardboard. That means the cardboard, after you cut the 10 cards, there's still some extra cardboard left. Because the area of cardboard is higher. Okay? So since 175 is less than 187, one can cut exactly 10 cards. Exactly 10 cards from the cardboard. Yeah, the soalan got say justify, right? So I think if you write like that, good enough. Okay. Yep, that's all. Okay, there's another way to do it actually. Another way to do it is you take 187 divided by 10. Yeah, because he's planning to take the cardboard and cut it into 10 pieces, right? So if you divide by 10, and if the answer is more than 10, I'm sorry, if the answer comes out is more than 17.5, that means you can cut more than 10. Faham ah? So if you tekan this, you get 18.7, right? So, yeah, that means that this cardboard, when you divide, the area of cardboard divide 10 is 18.7, but the area of one card is only 17.5. So it's enough lah. That means it's enough. You got it? Yeah, it's enough. That's why I write yes. Yeah, it's actually more than enough to cut the 10 cards. Okay. Okay, hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Now let's move on to the last question in section A, question number 7. Okay. Okay, we have a very complex diagram here, and I want to know the chapter first. Okay, let's look at B. Stationary. Okay, differentiation. Confirm. All right, Form 4 chapter. Form 5, sorry. Back then, it's used to be in Form 4 chapter 9, like the KBSM syllabus. But the KSSM syllabus differentiation is Form 5 chapter 2. And sometimes they will mix this with the integration chapter. Yeah, sometimes lah, to make it difficult. Okay, let's read the question. Diagram 7.1 shows straight line PA and AQ intersect at point A. Let's double check. PA is this line, AQ is this line, they intersect at A. Okay, correct. And they give the coordinate of A here, 3, 2. Okay, all right, let's continue. It is given that PA is a tangent. Oh, so this line is a tangent, so I better put a arrow here and write tangent. Okay, what's the meaning of tangent? Tangent means this line touches the curve at one point only. And you can see the point is point P. And we call this contact point the tangent point. Yeah, this point is known as the tangent point. Okay, okay. And then what about this other line? Oh, they never mentioned. But actually you use your eyes also, you know already this is not tangent. Yeah, because it touches the curve at two different places. So I don't think this line is a tangent, but this line is a tangent. And the curve equation they give us, y equals 8 over x. Okay, no need to label already. They already write it here. Such that h is a constant. Okay, this one type of thing. Find the value of h. Okay. A1, I'll do it up here. So question A1, I want to find h. Okay, I think they're talking about this h, this h, this h, this h. Okay, how do I find this h? Let's see. I think I will focus on point P here because point P is the tangent point, right? So what if I do dy dx? I do dy dx, I get the gradient curve, and then sub the h equals to the gradient of this line, and then use the gradient of AP. Okay, yeah, it's possible. First, we have to do dy dx lah. So y equals 8 over x, but I will write it as 8x power negative 1. Because when we're doing differentiation, tak boleh ada x bawah. So I terus naik atas and then find dy dx now. Okay, how to find dy dx? Ambil power, ambil kuasa, darab depan, and then power minus 1. So negative 1 times 8 is negative 8, power minus 1 is negative 2. Okay, and you if you want to cantikkan, boleh turunkan balik jadi negative 8 over x square, like that. But this is what we call the gradient curve. To find the gradient tangent, you have to sub the x coordinate of the point P. Because point P is the tangent point, right? So definitely you sub with the x here. So negative 8 over h square, that's the gradient tangent. Okay. But you can also find the gradient tangent by using the point A and point P punya coordinate. So now I understand already why they give the point A. Okay. So I can find the gradient tangent using the other way. And then later these two gradient tangent I equal them both and then find h. Okay, so you can find the other gradient by using these two coordinates. So we all know the formula for gradient is y minus y over x minus x. So 8 over h minus 2 over h minus 3. Okay, and that's your gradient tangent, right? But actually this and this, they are summer. Both these can equals, right? So I can actually straight away do this what? I can transfer this here, negative 8 over h square equals to this whole thing, right? H minus 3. It means we find gradient tangent using two different method, and then the answer we equal them both. Okay, how to find H? I think this one I darab silang lah. So the H minus 3 I have to darab with 8. Then what about this negative? Okay, the negative up to you. You nak jadikan atas punya pun boleh, bawah punya pun boleh. Let's jadikan atas punya. So it becomes negative 8 times H, negative 8H. Negative 8 times negative 3, positive 24. The other side is this one darab this one. H square times 8 over H is 8H. Why? Because when you do 8 over H times H square, this H and the square cut. That's why you left with 8H. But don't forget the negative 2 also have to times H square. That gives us negative 2H square. Alright, other square, other square, other square, other square, other square, other square, other square. Bila other square means quadratic, everything on one side equals 0, general form. So negative 2 pindah here jadi positive. So this is good. Saya memang mau dia punya A positive. Okay, and then the next one is today's H. Because more general form. Negative 8H, but the 8H here pindah jadi minus. So negative 8 minus 8 is negative 16H and then plus 24. Alright, now we can use calculator to solve it. But hold on. Kalau boleh kecilkan, kecilkan dulu. Ini semua boleh bahagi 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, 8H, divide by 2, 12. Now use calculator, tekan the ABC, and then you get your two answers. Alright, it's 2 and 6. But kosong satu baris, and then write bracket, bracket, and then here, H, the 2 pindah balik jadi minus 2, 6 pindah balik jadi minus 6. Okay, but the H can only have one answer. It cannot have two answers, right? Because H is, how can H be at two different places, right? It's only here. So I think you have to reject one of it. But which one to reject? Okay, I think you look at the point A, you know already. Because point A, they said is 3, 2. That means this is 3. So H has to be less than 3 lah. Because H is much more nearer to 0. So I think it cannot be 6 lah. So reject 6. Yeah, tak ada logic kan kalau ini 6. How can this be 6? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay, it should be less than 3. So H is 2. So now we know this is 2. And we can know this is 8 also. Because 4 times H, 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and we also know the point P coordinate already. It's 2, 4. Because 8 over H, 8 over 2 is 4 lah. Okay, the soalan asked for H and we done that. Done that already. Now do number 2. Determine the coordinates of Q. Okay, coordinates of Q is this. Actually, I know the Y coordinate is 8 already for point Q, right? But the problem is how to find the X coordinate. Okay, can we sub inside the equation of this line? Cannot, because we don't have the equation of that line. But what if I find the equation of this line? Not possible also, right? Because this line, we don't have the gradient. But we can sub into the curve equation, right? Yeah, if you look at this point, dia bukan sahaja passes through this line. Dia passes through this curve also. Yeah, so we can use the curve equation. So y equals to 8 over x, and guess what? The x is what we're trying to find, and then the y ganti 8 macam tu. Yeah. Okay, let me write nicely. This should be just x only. Okay, to find pindah atas jadi 8x equals to 8, x equals to 1. So that there you have it. That's the point Q, 1, 8. But you have to write one more baris, write Q bracket 1, 8. Because that's how you write coordinates. Okay. Hey, wait. I did something wrong. Oh my god, I make a silly mistake. This is not 1, 8 lah. Okay, wait for me. This is not, okay, the x coordinate is 8, right? I made a mistake here. I thought the y coordinate is 8, but the x coordinate is 8. So this is wrong. This is wrong because it should be x ganti 8. So the curve equation is y equals 8 over x. So it should be y equals 8 over x ganti 8. So y equals to 1. So the coordinate should be 8, 1 lah. And then write q here. Okay, ini baru betul. Yeah, the coordinate is 8, 1. I careless here. I thought the 8 is the y coordinate. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Oh, ada lagi B. Okay, there's another diagram here, but this diagram look very similar to this, right? So I'm pretty sure you can transfer some information here. Okay, but it's okay. Let's read the question first. Diagram 7.2 shows part of the curve y equals gx. Okay, this one. So it's only part of the curve. So I don't know how it looks like after here, right? Okay, it has a stationary point at point R. Stationary means turning point. And usually when you see this word, you always think about dy dx equals 0. Okay, so later if they want you to find point R, do dy dx equals 0. Okay, But actually, I know the point R y coordinate is 0 already because it's on the x-axis, right? Yeah, just the x we don't know. But it's okay. The gradient function of the curve y equals gx is this. Alright, what's gradient function? dy dx. Yeah, gradient function. Sometimes we call it gradient curve, right? Gradient function, gradient curve. It means the same thing. It means it's the dy dx. So they already give you the dy dx for this, right? So I think I'll just write here dy dx is given x minus 13 square and then x minus 4. And this is already differentiate punya, already differentiate punya. It's not y anymore. It's already dy dx. Okay, lepas tu dia kata AQR is a straight line. Okay, this one is a straight line. Okay, I can see it. And then point R lies on x-axis. This one also I know already. Okay, so later if I want to find this point, actually it's possible. Very easy. Just take this whole thing equals 0. Yeah, I told you, right? This is the stationary point, turning point. So to find the turning point, you just do dy dx equals 0. Okay, so the soalan actually asks you to determine the nature of the stationary point at gx at r. Okay, what is the meaning of determine nature? It means they want you to write whether it's a minimum point or maximum point. Okay, okay, let's talk about nature of stationary point. Dia boleh jadi, dia ada three types of turning point. Okay, so if your second derivative d2y over dx2 is bigger than 0, then it's a minimum, right? But if your second derivative d2y over dx2 is smaller than 0, then it's called is a maximum point. But if your d2y over dx2 is exactly 0, then we call it the inflection point. Inflection point dalam bahasa Melayu is titik lengkok balas. Okay. But there's actually another method to determine nature of stationary point. The other method is called the tangent sketching method. So ada dua cara untuk determine nature of turning point. First cara is the second derivative, the d2y over dx2 cara. The other method is the tangent sketching method. But usually I don't do the tangent sketching method unless the question asks. Yeah, unless the question say use tangent sketching method. Because that method banyak kerja, kena buat table. So usually I use this method. Okay. But I think first we have to find out the point R first. Yeah, you have to find out the point R first. You don't even know the point R. So I told you how to find it, right? Just do dy dx equals 0. And this is already the dy dx. So you can just straight away take this equals 0. X minus 13 square and then x minus 4 equals 0. Okay. Okay, do not pindah the x minus 4 and then you just cut the x minus 4 like that. Don't do that. If you do that, later your jawapan tak lengkap. Then it's wrong already. Okay, you cannot just say like, oh, 0 divided x minus 4, this one hilang. Tak boleh, tak boleh, tak boleh. That's the wrong way. The correct way is what? Yang ini equals 0, yang ini equals 0. It means x minus 13 square equals 0, and then x minus 4 equals 0. Ini baru betul. Okay? And then your x will get 4, and then the x will give you 13 here. Because square, when you hantar jadi square root 0 is 0 also. And then, yeah, 13, 4. But it can't have two answers, right? So I have to reject one. So which one to reject? Okay, I remember here is 8 just now. Because of, yeah, because of here, right? And I told you it's the same diagram. So you can transfer information. So if this is 8, then this is even, has to be like even bigger than 8. So I think I know which one to reject. 4 tak logic, right? So reject this, and now this is 13. Because this is the only answer that makes sense. 13, 0, point R. Okay, now we already know our turning point is 13, 0. But the soalan actually asking for the nature. It means they're asking whether it's a minimum point or maximum point or inflection point. So we have to do the second derivative, the d2y over dx2 right now. Okay, and in order to find the derivative, we need the first derivative. Okay, we need the first derivative to find the second derivative. So the first derivative is this, x minus 13 square, x minus 4. X minus 13 square, x minus 4. Okay, now we have to find out the second derivative, d2y over dx2. Okay, to find if you want to find d2y, if you want to find d2y dx2, all you need to do is take the dy dx and then differentiate sekali lagi. Okay, alright, so I'm about to differentiate this one more time. Okay, how do you differentiate this? Definitely I will not kembang. Definitely I will not expand, because when you expand there's 3 bracket and yeah, it's just a lot of work. So I think I'll use the special method. I think I will use the UV method, the product rule. Okay, yeah, that's the only way actually, because when you expanding is not possible, and also power hantar depan pun not possible because ada X depan. That's how I teach my student. Kalau tak boleh kembang, we try taking the power darab depan. Tapi kalau but make sure depan tak ada X. Kalau depan ada X, you have to use the UV formula, and this one have to use UV. So let U becomes the X minus 13 square, V becomes the X minus 4. And the product formula, the product rule formula looks like this: U dV dx plus V du dx. This is the formula, the product rule formula. So now it's time to It's time to differentiate. So I will not write dy dx. I will write d2y over dx2, the second derivative lah. Okay? And now I will start using this formula. So first we have to write the u. So the u is x minus 13 square. Just copy and paste. And then we have to do the dv dx. Basically differentiate x minus 4. Differentiate x is 1. Differentiate negative 4 is 0. So just left with 1 only lah. And then plus v. So plus, and then the v just tulis saja x minus 4. Write it in bracket. And then the last thing you have to write is du dx. Basically, you have to differentiate x minus 13 square lah. Okay, to differentiate this, you don't have to expand actually. Just take the power hantar depan terus, and then x minus 13, and then power minus 1 becomes 1. But you have to tambah satu step, which is differentiate dalam bracket sekali. So differentiate x is 1, differentiate negative 13 is 0. So you end up with this. Okay, now do not expand this because later this and this can factorize. So do not expand it, leave it like that, x minus 13 square. The 1 tak payah tulis because times 1 is useless. And then tambah, alright, the single term, I think you can darab. So 2 and 1 I will darab jadi 2, but the x minus 4 I will not expand because it has two terms. And then x minus 13, and now it's time to factorize. So we have two terms here ataupun dua rumah. Dua rumah. That's how I explain to my student, dua rumah. So dua rumah ni dia boleh faktor x minus 13 from the two rumah. So I will factorize out like that and then put a big bracket, and then whatever's left inside I just put it in. So x minus 13 square divide x minus 13, you get x minus 13, and then the 2 is still inside. X minus 4 also still inside because I never take anything similar. Yeah, I never take anything out. But the x minus 13 here gone really lah because I should have factor out. Okay, now we do the inside bracket. So x minus 13. Alright, x minus 13. This one kembang jadi 2x minus 8. And then what? Yeah, do whatever's inside the big bracket. So you end up with 2x plus x is 3x minus 13 minus 8 minus 21. And then x minus 13. But actually, kalau ikutkan, this is not the final answer. Yeah, for differentiation, kalau when you're doing differentiation and you are done with the differentiate answer, you have to check whether your answer can factorize or not. Kalau boleh factorize means you are not done yet. And actually this one can factorize. 3 and 21, they both can divide by 3. So actually what you have to do is take out the 3. Faktorkan 3. So it becomes x minus 7. And where the 3 go? The 3 goes here lah. Okay. Alright, sekarang baru you ganti. Okay, now you have your second derivative already lah. This is your second derivative. But the soalan is asking you to find the nature. So you have to know whether your second derivative is bigger 0, smaller 0, or equals 0. But now it's in terms of x. So what you have to do is you have to sub with the x coordinate of the turning point you are trying to test. So you are trying to test for point R. You want to know whether point R is minimum or maximum or inflection point. So you have to use the point R punya x coordinate to test, right? So the point R x coordinate is 13. So basically you have to sub 13 here lah. Okay, I don't have space. I think I'll write up here. So when x is 13, and then your d2y dx2 will be, okay, tengok sini lah, 3 bracket. So the first year ganti 13 minus 13 is 0, and then 13 minus 7 is 6. And kalau dia 0 sini, darab 6 is 0 lah. When you darab everything, you get 0. Okay, so then you know already lah, your d2y dx2 result 0, that means it's an inflection point. So I'll just write here point R, which is 13, 0, is an inflection point. Okay, kalau nak tulis bahasa Melayu, titik R adalah titik lengkap balas. Okay, yeah, so that's the answer. Okay, but of course if you get bigger 0, then it's minimum lah, smaller 0 is maximum. Okay, I'm done with this question. So that's all. Alright, let's continue here. So bahagian B, bahagian ini mengandungi 4 soalan, jawab 3 soalan. Okay, I will jawab 4 questions lah. Okay, yeah, I'll jawab all 4 in this video. Alright, number 8. Diagram 8 shows curve y equals fx intersects the straight line y equals negative 2x plus 14 at point A. So let's check curve and straight line intersect at point A. Okay, correct lah. And they gave us the point A actually. Point A is 4, 6. And they also gave us the equation of the straight line, y equals negative 2x plus 14. So first of all, what chapter is this? You can see there's area, volume. So definitely it's the integration chapter. Form 5, chapter 3. Integration. In BM is pengamiran. Okay? Alright, first thing first, when I'm doing this kind of question with my students, I always tell them, find out all the important point first. Even if you don't, you don't have to care about what the question says. Find out all the important points. The important points is the x-intercept, y-intercept, and the intersection point. basically those points that you can find by your own. So this point and this point, actually you can find it, and you should find it now. Even if it ends up being useless later, also I will tell my student just find it. Okay, so how do you find this point? Very easy. You have the equation of straight line. Just sub x equals 0, y equals 0. Okay, when you sub x 0, you get y is 14. So the y-intercept is 14. When you sub x 0, when you sub y 0, you get 0 equals negative 2x plus 14. So 2x is 14, x is 7. So the x-intercept is 7. Okay, what other points I can find? What about this point? Okay, this point is, I cannot find it because they never give us the curve equation. Yeah, but if they give us the curve equation, then I can find out this point, because this point is the y-intercept of the curve, right? But they never gave it to me, but it's fine. Oh, I can see the A actually one is to find equation of curve. Yeah, that's why they never give us lah. All right, let's see what they says here. Given that the gradient function is x over 2. Gradient function means dy dx. Make sure you know that. Gradient function, in short form, I like to call it GF. GF, it means dy dx. Sometimes they will call it gradient curve, but they mean the same thing. They are both the same thing. Okay, gradient function is dy dx. So if they give you dy dx and ask you to find equation of curve, which is y, what you do is basically you integrate this. Yeah, because if you want to find y from the dy dx, what you basically do is you take the d, pindah there becomes integrate, and then take the dx, pindah here, dia akan jadi duduk atas macam tu. Yeah, and then the x over 2 you just write inside like that. So basically you just integrate this. But when you integrate this later, you will have plus c. Ya, dia akan ada c. Sebab ini kameran tak tentu. Kameran tak tentu is kameran bila dia tak ada number sini lah. It means the integration, we call it indefinite integral. Indefinite integral is when there's no number here. And when there's no number here, when you integrate, you will have plus c. And you have to find the c later. And how to find the c is you have to sub the xy inside. Yeah, you have to sub the xy inside. And the xy, you can choose any point that passes through the curve. Okay? And I can see I can use the 4, 6 point later lah. Okay, let's integrate first. When you integrate x over 2, what you get is x over 2, I think I will write it a bit different. I will write it like this, 1 over 2x. Because I want to make sure I can see the coefficient and the power clearly. So I'll write it like this. Actually, it's the same thing lah, but it's better to write it like this when you're trying to differentiate or integrate. So when you integrate 1 over 2x, the 1 over 2 stay there, and then the x becomes x power 2 over 2. Yeah, power kena plus 1 lah, and then divide with the power 2. And then close the bracket, and here you write plus c. So now, atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah, you get x squared over 4 plus c. But I told you need to find the c, and how to find the c is sub xy inside, and you have to sub with point yang ada passes through curve, because you're trying to find equation of curve. So the only point that you can use here is point A, 4, 6. But 4 is the x, 6 is the y. So dia akan jadi 6 sama dengan x squared over 4 plus c, and then the x you masuk 4 lah. Alright, how do you find c? Alright, let's do 4 square. 4 square is 16, divided by 4 is 4, pindah sana jadi minus 4. And 6 minus 4 is just positive 2. So that's your c, and now you have your equation of curve. Just rewrite this whole thing. Y equals x squared over 4 plus c, and the c is 2. Okay, and that is the answer for A. All right, let's do B. Find the area bounded by curve straight line x equals 4, x-axis and y-axis. So you will use the integration method later lah to find the area. But they are not asking for the area of shaded region, because they got said, if they want area of shaded region, they will say area of shaded region, but they never say that. They said area bounded by curve x equals 4, x-axis, y-axis. So I think I have to highlight these 4 lines and find out where is the bounded region. So I will use a highlighter for this. Okay, I'm not going to use highlighter. I'm just going to use a red color pen. So area bounded by curve. So basically what it means is this curve, and then straight line x equals 4. X equals 4 means you pergi x, cari 4, and then draw a straight line. Okay, actually x equals 4 will be the line here. Agree? Because they already said point A is 4, 6, right? That means the point A, kalau you baca sini bawah, dia akan dapat 4. So the x equals 4 line will be exactly here lah. It's a vertical line. Okay? Next line is the x-axis and y-axis. So let's use red color to draw the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay. All right. Is there any other lines? Curve x equals 4, x. Okay, that's all. So after highlighting all the lines, you can see that where is the bounded region. Bounded means kawasan yang surrounded by the 4 lines lah. Ataupun kawasan yang dikelilingi, ataupun the bounded region lah. Kawasan tertutup. So the red, you have 4 red color line, right? Mana kawasan tertutup? Kawasan tertutup is actually here. Yeah. So what we have to find is the area of this red color region. Not this one, not the one that they shade for you. No, that one, no. So this is the one that I want to find now. Okay. All right. Whenever I do this type of question, I always tell my students, you have to check these two important things first. Number one, you have to check whether you are using x-axis to integrate or y-axis to integrate. And then the second thing is you have to check how many times you have to integrate. Ada soalan yang you kena integrate 2 kali, ada soalan yang you kena integrate 1 kali. Okay. Alright, first of all, you ask yourself this region, you will use which axis to integrate. So you can actually use x-axis, right? X-axis, because this region is in between the curve and the x-axis, right? And if you integrate using x-axis, you have to write dx, and then here will be y. Okay. Alright, the next thing you have to check is berapa kali you kena integrate. Sometimes the region you have to integrate 2 kali baru dapat. But for this you can integrate sekali because the line is already straight here and the region is already in between curve and x-axis. Unless this line is a second line lah. If let's say the region look like it's like that, it's a second line like that, then maybe you have to integrate 2 kali and you need the equation of straight line. Yeah, and then you kena integrate 2 kali. 1 kali for curve, 1 kali for straight line, right? But for this, you can integrate sekali. And the number here will be the x-axis from 0 to 4, right? So it's just 0 to 4. Yeah, basically, this is all you need to do, okay? And for the y here, you have to muscle equation curve. Bukan negative 2x plus 14, No, it has to be equation of curve, which is x squared over 4 plus 2. You find it just now already. But I will write it a bit different. I'll write it 1 over 4 x squared plus 2. Because I told you, when you are doing differentiation integration, it's very important to make sure the coefficient and the power you can see clearly. Otherwise, it will affect your. Otherwise, it will be. You might make some careless mistake if you don't separate it nicely like that. Okay, sekarang kita boleh start integrate. So when you integrate 1 over 4 x squared, the 1 over 4, nothing will happen to it. And then the x squared will become x power 3 over 3. Okay, and I will put it inside the bracket. And then integrate 2 is just 2x and then tutup bracket 4, 0. Now, before you sub the 4 inside, dalam boleh simplify dulu. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah, x power 3 over 12 plus 2x, tutup bracket 4, 0. Now, when you sub 4, you get something here. When you sub 0, you get something here. Okay, now let's sub 4 first. 4 power 3 is 64. So it's 64 over 12 plus 2. This x also sub with 4, which is 2 times 4. Just write 8 straight away lah. And then now sub 0. Okay, 0 power 3, 0, 0 divided by 12, 0, 2 times 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0. So now, just tekan 64 over 12 plus 8, and you will get the answer. Okay, my calculator give me 40 over 3. So that is the answer, 40 over 3 unit square. Okay, one last thing I want to mention is, sometimes you have to add modulus before you integrate. So this one no need modulus because you are using x-axis and the shaded region. If you're using x-axis and your shaded region atas x-axis, that means it will come out positive. Okay, but if let's say you are using x-axis and if your shaded region is below the x-axis, then it will come out negative. Then you have to add modulus because area tak ada negative. But what if you are using y-axis? Okay, kalau y-axis sebelah kanan positive, sebelah kiri negative. Okay, but for this one no need lah. Alright, hope you understand. Now let's go to C, the last part. Find the generated volume in terms of pi when the shaded region is revolved through 360 about the y-axis. Okay, I think the shaded region is referring to the shaded region is this region lah, the one that they already shade for me. Okay, yeah. So I'm trying to find this shaded region here. Okay, same thing. You have to ask yourself these two important things. Number one, which axis you will use, and number two, how many times you have to integrate. Okay, so number one, which axis? Okay, for volume, you cannot choose. You have to follow the question. If the question say revolve y-axis, you must use y-axis, and the formula it will be dy, and here will be x. But for volume, the other pi dengan square. But if this is dx, then this will be pi y square lah. Okay. So the first thing you already settled, which is which axis to use, y-axis. Second thing you have to think about is how many times you have to integrate. For some region, you integrate 1 kali, some region you have to integrate 2 kali. And for this region, I can tell you for sure you have to integrate 2 kali. And the reason is very simple, because if you look at the region, it's actually between curve and y-axis, but you can see there is a sengit line. One of the outside line is a sengit line. So that means you have to integrate 2 kali. How do you do that? Since you are using y-axis, you integrate from here to here first. Yeah, you have to cut it off here because only here to here is integrate curve, and then the atas part it has to is for the straight line one lah. And since this is a straight line, you can actually use the volume of cone to find out the volume here. Yeah, I think I will do that later. So for the integrate, you have to integrate here to here, right? And sini berapa? Okay, actually I can find it because I have the equation of curve already. X square over 4 plus 2. And this is the y-intercept of the curve. So just ganti x kosong. Kosong square is kosong. Kosong bahagi 4. Kosong kosong tambah 2, 2. So this is 2. And also you know this is 6. Because point A is 4, 6. So you need mesti 6, right? So for this bawah part, you can use the integrate method to find the volume bawah here, which is integrate 2, 6. And then the next bar is the pi, you can hantar depan. And then the x square, you have to start with the equation curve. And how to find x square from here? Quite easy. Pindah the plus 2 jadi minus 2. But then you have to times 4. So you get 4y minus 8. So your x square is actually 4y minus 8. This is the one that I will integrate. And of course, you don't have to square already, because this is already the x square. So this is what you do. Okay. And after you integrate this, you will get the volume for down here. But you still have to plus with what? The atas punya, which is integrate 6 to 14, right? But if you want to use the integrate method to do, can also. If you use the integrate method, you have to write integrate 6 to 14, and then the pi x squared dy, for the x square, you have to find x from here, and then square kan dia lah. Yeah, and you have to use the straight line equation. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the faster way. The faster way is use the volume of cone formula. So volume of cone is 1 over 3 pi r square h. R is the radius, h is the height of cone. So as for the radius, it will be the distance from here to here, which is 4. And then for the height, it will be the height from here to here, which is 14 minus 6. That gives us 8. And if you do it like that, you will get the volume of cone very quickly. Okay. All right. I want to say something. Some student, they might say, sir, what if I use the volume of hemisphere for this down part? Because this down part is also a hemisphere. Okay, cannot, wrong. Because this is not a hemisphere. Yeah, this is not a hemisphere. It looks like a hemisphere, but it's not a hemisphere. Unless the soalan got mentioned it's a hemisphere, but this is not a hemisphere. Let me tell you why. Because if hemisphere, the radius here and the radius here should be the same. But if you look at the distance here is 4 unit. Here is also 4 unit, right? But it's not guaranteed lah. Yeah, it's not guaranteed because this curve, yeah, you don't know whether it's like a hemisphere or not. Yeah, so just remember for integrate curve, always use the integrate method. For curve, you will always use integrate. Yeah, only for when straight line, you can use the formula for cone, or maybe sometimes you might get cylinder. Okay, yeah, depends on the diagram lah. Okay, but for this one, I can assure you, you must use this. Okay, yeah. All right, so 1 over 3, 4 square here can do 16. 16 times 8 divided by 3, and that gives us 128 over 3 pi. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you with that. All right, now for this part, I will just integrate 4y, which is 2y square. Yeah, because integrate 4y is 4y square over 2, right? So I did it fast already lah. I straight away divide by 2 is 2y square. And then integrate 8 is 8y. Bukan 8x. This one is dy, so it has to be in terms of y, 8y. And then total bracket 6, 2. And then plus with 128 over 3 pi. Okay, for this one, I have to write pi. Okay, sekarang kita boleh sub 6. And when you sub 6, I get something here. And then sub 2, I get something. And then tengah-tengah tolak lah. Alright, sub 6 dulu. 6 square times 2. 6 square times 2, I think it's 72. Yes, because 36 times 2, right? And then minus 8 also times 6 is 48. Okay. Now sub 2, 2 square is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. And then minus with 8 times 2 is 16. Okay. Now for the next bar is, all right, 72 minus 48. And then minus 8 minus 16. So put all this in the calculator and see what we get. 72 minus 48 is 24. But 24, I have to minus with bracket 8 minus 16. Okay, my calculator give me 32 here. So I think the answer here is 32 pi lah. So I think the pi I will erase. I'll straight away write 32 pi. But of course, I still have to plus with what? I still have to plus with 128 over 3 pi here. Here also same, 128 over 3 pi. Okay, so tekan this, you will get the final answer. 32 plus 128 over 3. So the calculator gives me 224 over 3. So let's write the answer here, 224 over 3. And then don't forget the pi. And also since it's a volume, I write unit cube. Okay, units cube. Okay, I think I'm done with the question. So that's how I would do it. All right, let's continue. Okay, number 9, this is very obvious. Just looking at the diagram, you know which chapter is the probability distribution from chapter 5. Okay, all right, let's read the question. Diagram 9 shows a normal distribution. So when you see the word normal, that means you have to use the z-score table. Okay, all right, let me open. Okay, because this PDF file doesn't have the z-score table, so let me open a new file and see. Okay, is there a z-score table for this? Okay, there is. Okay, so later I'll be using this. Okay, I'll be using this to do it. Okay, let me erase this first. So remember, whenever you are doing probability distribution and if you see the word normal there, that means, yeah, you need the z-score table. Okay, you will use the z-score table. All right, so let's continue. Okay, wait for me. Okay, diagram 9 shows a normal distribution graph for the time taken in minutes for a group of students to answer a test. And this is X and 32, 36. All right, this is actually like a notation. That's how they write it. So if they write X and something, comma something, this would be the mean, this would be the variance. Okay, this is the mean, this is the variance. Okay, but what if they write XB? Okay, if XB, the B will stands for binomial, then this number is the N, this is the P. But that is for binomial distribution lah. So for now, I'm just going to erase it because now they use it's a normal, right? But still, it's important to know this. That's why I mentioned it quickly for you. So for the xn, this would mean this variance. So straight away, you have your mean 32, and the variance is 36. Okay, variance is 36. But I want to tell you something. When you're doing normal distribution, we don't actually use the variance to do it. We actually use the standard deviation. So let's find out the standard deviation. Square root 36, you get 6. Okay. Okay. And let me tell you what's the use of this. Okay. What's the use of the 32 and 6 is for you to change to Z value later. So for X value, if you want to change to Z value, you have to take the X minus mean divided standard deviation. Okay, that's why I find out the standard deviation straight away. Okay, all right, I can see there's a diagram here. Here they write mean, here they write 35, but it's clearly, this 35 is clearly handwritten. So I don't know whether this is the part of the question or somebody just edit themselves there. I'm not sure, but it's okay. And then there's a X there. Okay, okay, understand. Okay, but I know this is 32. That's for sure because I found out the mean already. So 32, and yeah, mean is always at the symmetry. Yeah, it's always at the axis of symmetry. So this is 32. Okay, now let's see. Number one, a student is selected at random from the group. Okay. On diagram 9, shade the region that represents the probability of student answering the test in at most 35 minutes. Hence, find the probability. All right, question 1, they are actually asking you to find the probability and they want the probability student answering in at most 35 minutes. So you need to understand at most, dia punya symbol macam mana. Smaller equals. Okay, so what they want is the probability for X, and the X actually represents answering time. Yeah, the time taken for the student to answer, and they want at most 35 minutes, so smaller equals 35, right? But before finding the probability, we have to shape the region first. So we have to go here and cari 35. So this is 32, right? So 35 must be sebelah kanan dia lah. Ya, takkanlah 35 sini kan? Tak logik kalau 35 sini. Because this is already 32, so 35 must be like even further right. So, uh, so I think this handwritten 35 is like someone punya working lah, someone else punya working. Okay, and then we put a line here. And why we have to load it sebelah kiri? Because they smaller sama dengan. So the shaded region will be from this line onwards to the left. From this line onwards to the left, like that. Yeah, this is the shaded region. Okay, but in order to find the probability ataupun the area here, you have to convert to Z first. Yeah, convert to Z and then use the Z score table kalau nak cari area ataupun probability. Okay, so this is what I will do now lah. Find the probability. So first thing first, convert to Z. Yeah, so 35 to convert Z, the formula is minus mean divided standard deviation minus 32 divided 6. That is why just now when they give variance, I straight away square root to find the standard deviation. So now you get PZ smaller equals, I think it's 0.5. And now you can focus on finding this. Alright, before you go to the Z-score table, you kena faham. Kalau nak baca itu Z-score table, you kena make sure dia PZ bigger positive baru boleh baca. Yeah, PZ bigger positive baru boleh baca. So now dia PZ smaller positive. So what you have to do is actually you have to take 1 minus. Because for PZ smaller 0.5, if you draw it out in a bell shape, this is what it looks like. This is 0 and 0.5 is here. Sorry, it's not there. 0.5 is actually positive here. And then smaller is actually sebelah kiri, right? So the way I teach my student is kalau you punya shaded region is more than half, you kena ambil 1 minus. More than half is like that lah. ataupun when the shaded region is like cross over the y-axis or the vertical axis. Yeah, when the shaded region cross over the vertical axis like that, you have to take 1 minus, because 1 is the total probability, total area for the whole thing. So you take 1 minus yang you tak mau. Yang you tak mau is this, the region yang tak ada lorek. Yeah, the unshaded region. The unshaded region. So the unshaded region, kawasan yang tak lorek is 0.5 ke kanan. So is PZ bigger than 0.5. Okay. Alright, the line is actually not important, the equal. If you want to put, you put but it doesn't affect the answer one. So tak berapa penting. So sekarang kita boleh baca PZ bigger 0.5. Sekarang boleh baca jadual. Because I told you right, kena Z bigger positive baru boleh baca. Sekarang sudah Z bigger positive lah, so boleh baca. So I will go to the Z score table and cari 0.5. Okay. So I will go here and cari 0.5, and then this is the answer. 0.50. So ini jawapan dia, 0.3085. So this is my probability, and at the same time it's also the final answer. Not the final answer yet. I still have to take 1 minus, right? So what is 1 minus 0.3085? 0.6915. So that's the probability. The soalan suruh cari probability, so ini jawapan dia, 0.6915. Alright, I'm done with this. Okay, let's do number 2. Given that 12% of the students answered the test in less than t minutes, find the value of t. Alright, so we can obviously see that they want to find answering time less than t. So for your question 2, you must see px less than t lah. Then what about the 12%? That is the answer. 12% is the probability answer. And if you want to convert this to probability, it's 12 divided 100, which is 0.12. Okay. And now you are trying to find t lah. Okay. So tadi dia bagi dalam suruh cari probability. Tapi sekarang dia bagi probability, cari balik dalam. Okay. So later this one, when you baca jadual lah, you tak boleh baca dari luar. You kena baca dari dalam. Yeah. And the way I teach my student is, kalau dia bagi dalam, you baca dari luar. Tengok, tadi dia bagi dalam kan? Dalam 0.5, you baca luar 0.5. Tapi sekarang dia bagi luar. Dia bagi jawapan. Dia bagi probability jawapan. Maksudnya nanti kita kena baca dari dalam. So later we have to go inside and cari the baca dari sana. Okay. But of course the first step still have to change to Z first lah. Yeah. So how to change to Z? Z smaller than T minus mean divided standard deviation minus 32 divided with 6. Alright, usually when you reach here, when I reach here, I will always teach my student, kalau dalam ni tak boleh buat, you let C equals T minus 32 over 6. Okay, sebab dalam tak boleh buat, you tak tahu nilai T, so you cannot do. So I let C equals, so now it becomes PZ smaller than C equals to 0.12, and now you are trying to find the C, right? But you cannot terus tengok jadual sekarang. You have to make sure it's Z bigger positive. Sekarang dia Z smaller, and also the C kita tak tahu positive or negative or not. So kalau nak tahu Z positive, negative or not, you kena lukis the bell shape and lukis dua kali. Satu kita the first one kita anggap C dia negative, satu lagi kita anggap C dia positive. But of course later we have to kita agak only one of these is correct. Yeah, only one of these is correct. Sekarang kita lukis both dulu sebab kita tak tahu yang mana betul. Sekarang kita lukis both and then kita tengok yang mana make sense later. Alright, smaller C means you have to lorate ke kiri. So from this line onwards ke kiri. Okay, now nak tahu yang mana betul, kita tengok probability jawapan untuk probability. So if you look at the probability answer, kalau dia more than 0.5, kita pilih kawasan yang besar. Kalau ini answer less than 0.5, you pilih kawasan yang kecil. So 0.12 is less than 0.5, less than half. So it can't be this. Tak ada make sense kalau macam ni, right? Takkanlah area sini 0.12, tak logic. So that means this is the correct one. C is negative. And now that you know C is negative, now you can continue already. So kalau C negative, smaller negative memang boleh tukar jadi PZ bigger positive. Yeah, smaller negative memang boleh tukar jadi bigger positive because this is symmetrical. So smaller negative you can actually flip it straight away to the other side jadi bigger positive. Tapi only smaller negative boleh flip. And now since you know your C is negative already, kita akan tulis siap-siap C equals negative, and now we can baca jadual. And we have to baca dari dalam. It means you have to pergi dalam tu cari 0.12 atau lebih sikit. So let's go do that now. So this is your Z score table. Kita kena pergi dalam sini, terus cari 0.12 or lebih sikit. Alright, I sudah jumpa. So we have 11, 11, 117, 119. This one lah. 0.12 or lebih sikit is this one. Tapi, but this one is 0.1210. I want 0.12 only. So I have to minus with 10, right? I have to minus 10. So kita pergi column tolak, cari 10. So your answer will be at the outside. Jawapan you ada dekat luar. So this is your answer, 1.175. That is the answer. Tapi kena letak negative. Yeah, negative 1.175. Okay. Usually students forget the negative one. So that's why whenever you sudah tahu C dia negative, it's better you tulis siap-siap. Because if you forget, then you will lose marks. Alright, after you know your C, now you can find your T. Don't forget, C is T minus 32/6. So T minus 32/6 equals to negative 1.175. So your T will be, this one can press calculator lah. Negative 1.175 times 6 plus 32. What do you get? 24.95. Okay, I don't think you have to round off lah because it's minutes, right? So I think I'll just write 24.95 and put a unit there, minutes, and yeah, this is good enough. Okay. All right, I'm done with the A1, A2. Now let's do B, but not enough space lah. Okay, I think I will create a new document. Okay, for the B question, I will do it here lah. Yeah, later I'll do it here because not enough space. Okay, let's read the question first. A quiz consists of 6 multiple choice questions. Each question has equal marks, has 3 choice of answers such that only one of them is correct. The students need to score more than 70%. If a student randomly gets, find the probability that the student does not get prize. Okay, is this related to A? Actually, no. I can tell you for sure no. Because A is a normal distribution question and B is not a normal distribution. Because kalau dia tak ada perkataan normal, if you never see the word normal in the question, that means it's not a normal distribution. So A is a normal distribution. This one is binomial. So B and A is not related at all. You cannot use the information from A to do B. So this one is like a complete new question like that. So it's a binomial. And when you are doing binomial, you tak payah guna itu Z-score table. You will not be using the Z-score table. And for binomial, you actually have to find out the NPQ. Yeah, because for binomial, under binomial, there's 4 formulas you learn. The first formula is the probability formula, and then you learn about the mean formula, variance formula, standard deviation formula. Tapi yang ni dia suruh cari probability lah. So later we have to use the probability formula. And the formula looks like this. X equals to NCX, P power X, Q power N minus X. But in order to use this formula, you need the NPQ first. So consists of 6 multiple choice questions. Each question has equal marks, has 3 choice of answers so that one of them is correct. So you can see the N is 6 lah. Yeah, so for B, the N is 6. And then 3 choice, only one of them is correct. The student need to score more than 70% to get a prize. If a student randomly guess all the answer, find probability that the student does not get the prize. Okay, so for what is the probability of success? What is the probability of failure? EQ. Okay, if you want to know the probability of success, you tengok apa soalan mau cari. Kalau contoh dia mau cari probability yang correct, that means probability of success is correct lah. Kalau dia nak cari probability yang student not correct, then the probability of success is probability of not correct. Okay, so the soalan says probability that the student does not get the prize. Tapi dia dah cakap sini kena score more than 70% baru dapat prize. So what is the probability of success? Okay, let me think. 1/3 or 2/3. So each question has 3 choice of answer. So it's like a ABC, only one of them is correct, but you need to score 70%. So I think I have to take 70 over 100 times 6 lah. Yeah, because you need to score 70% to get a prize. 70%. Maksudnya kita ambil 70% darab 6 dulu and see berapa soalan yang saya kena betul untuk dapat prize. So kalau tekan ni you dapat 4.2, right? So I think if you jawab 5 soalan betul, you will get the prize. I think that's what it means, right? The student need to score more than. Yeah, so that means you have to score more than 4.2 lah. More than 4.2, that means 5 and 6 lah. Yeah, 5 and 6 question. So you kena dapat 5 soalan betul ataupun 6 soalan betul baru dapat prize. Kenapa 4 soalan tak boleh? Sebab jawapan sini 4.2. And they already said more than 70%. So more than 4.2 will be 5, 6 lah. 4 tak boleh lah. 4 is not more than 4.2. Okay. So now what you have to do is, if a student randomly gets, find probability that the student does not get the prize. Does not get. I think I will jadikan my probability of success. I think I will jadikan 1/3 lah. And then failure is 2/3. That means I jadikan because 1/3 is the probability of dapat correct. Yeah. because you have three choice, one of them is correct, right? So the probability of correct is the probability of success, and then probability of salah is this, and then your x can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of 6 question, maybe kosong betul, or 1 betul, or 2 betul, or 3 betul, 4 betul, 5 betul, 6 betul, depends lah. Okay. But the soalan is asking student does not get the prize. Does not get the prize means you dapat kosong betul, 1 betul, 2 betul, 3 betul, 4 betul. Yeah, this is does not get prize. If you dapat 5 betul, 6 betul, you will get the prize, right? So we are trying to find the probability for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I want to find px smaller equals 4 like that. So you can do the formula 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times and then plus all the answer together. But there is a faster way. Just take 1 minus 5 and 6. Because the total probability for everyone is 1, right? So if you do like that, it's faster. 1 minus 5 and 6. And if you do like that, you only have to use the formula 2 times. So let's do it the first time for px equals 5, 6c5, probably, and then bracket. The first bracket, you write p, 1 over 3. This one write q. And then the power here mesti sama dengan nombor bawah 5. And then power sini dia akan jadi 1. Atas tolak atas lah. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay, minus with the px equals 6, same thing, 6c6, bracket. First bracket is p 1 over 3, this one is q 2 over 3, and then power sini sama dengan bawah 6, and then 6 minus 6 dapat kosong. Now you press calculator, dapat, and then nanti dapat jawapan lah. Alright, what is 6c5 times 1 over 3 power 5 times 2 over 3? 4 over 2, 4, 3. And then 6c6 times this, I got 1 over 729. And then 1 minus, dapatlah jawapan 716 over 729. If you want to write decimal, can also 0.9822. Kalau dalam decimal lah. But if you want to write in decimal, write 4 different figures. Okay. Alright, I'm done with that. So this is worth 10 marks. So that's all. Okay, number 10, this is a linear law question, so we need a graph paper for this. They never provide here. So I think I will use the other, I think I will use pinjam this graph paper. Yeah, I think I will do it here. This is actually from another state. Yeah, I just borrow the graph paper to draw the graph. Okay. All right, let's do this. Number 10. Table 10.1 shows the values of two variables x and y obtained from experiment. Okay, semua tak penting. Variable x and y are related by this equation such that a and b are constant. Okay, everything here is not important. The only thing important is the equation. So I will write the equation down. Y equals 2 over a x power 3 plus bx. And kalau you tengok saya punya trial video, you tahu bila saya buat linear law, saya mesti akan tukar jadi linear form dulu. Yeah, I always do that first. Okay, I always do that first. So let's do that. So kena tukar jadi linear form, which is y equal mx plus c. Tapi macam mana tukar? Kita tengok apa dia punya y-axis and x-axis, right? And usually they will tell you in the soalan. So if you scroll down here, dia akan cakap plot y over x against x square. So you know that the y-axis later will be what? Y over x, and the x-axis will be x. Okay, so nak jadikan y equal mx plus c, you kena make sure this y-axis is y over x. So I think it's very clear what I need to do here lah. Bahagi x. So bahagi x, but everything have to bahagi x also. So you get x squared. This one also bahagi x b. And as you can see, the y-axis sudah match dengan y-axis graph. And the x-axis from equation also match with the x-axis here. Yeah, I tak tulis square here. Sini ada square kan? Yeah. So everything, yeah, sudah siap lah. This is your linear form. Okay. Okay, this one is b. So now you can write y equal mx plus c. But the y and x have to use huruf besar. Have to use big letter, capital letter. Okay. Okay, saya sudah siap saya punya linear form. And let me tell you why I did this first before doing A. Why I did this first? Because kalau you tak buat ni, nanti you tak boleh buat C. Because C, they will always ask you to find the gradient y-intercept. So you can see here C, okay, C1. Oh, C1 actually they ask you to reduce to linear form, right? But actually even if they never ask this, you have to do also. Kalau dia tak tanya linear form ni, you kena buat juga. Sebab kalau you tak buat ni, you tak boleh buat part ni. Yang cari AB. Yeah, because when you find AB, you actually need to know what's the gradient and y-intercept here. Okay, so actually this is already working for C1 lah. Yeah, and then for the C2A, for the C2, they want to find A and B. So later we have to use this. So the y-axis, x-axis should match. So 2 over A will be the gradient. And then later 2 over A. And then for the gradient, I will use the graph to find it later. And then calculate it here. And then find the A from here. Okay, and then for the B, okay, B, kalau you refer sini, B is actually the C, the y-intercept. So I would just write here, B is the y-intercept. And then later we have to take out daripada graph lah. But of course I haven't do the graph yet, so I don't know what's the y-intercept yet. But we can tulis siap-siap sekarang dulu. Okay. Yeah, so this is your C1, C2 punya working already. Okay. Okay, now only I will go back to A. Based on table 10.1, fill the table 24 for the values of x square, y, or x. So I'm sure there has to be a new table here lah. Okay, so what will I do? Draw a new table. Okay, I'll draw it here. I'll just draw it here lah. Okay, now I have to draw some lines. Okay, ada berapa point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, I think this is enough. Okay, the x-axis is no longer xy, it's x square and y over x. Okay. Alright, and then for the x square, kita square kan semua ni lah. Okay, 2 square is 4. 2.45 square. Let's use calculator. Alright, for this you write 2 decimal place. Yeah, because it's a graph question. Yeah, for graph question, I always teach the same way. Write 2 decimal place. 2 decimal place means after decimal take 2 digits only. So this one is 6.00. So yeah, 6.00 it is. 3.16 square, write 2 decimal place is 9.99. Yeah, because actually they give 9.985, right? So 2 decimal place, so 9.99. Okay. All right, and then 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25, 5.7 square, let me press. Okay, I got 32.49. So 2 decimal place, 32.49. Okay, good. All right, what about yang bawah ni? Bawah is y over x. That means you have to take ini bahagi ini. 17.6 divided by 2. So I get 8.8. And then this one divide this one, I got 14. And then this divide this, 22.5. You can use your calculator lah for this part. I don't have to teach you, right? This one divide this, just press calculator, 24.8. And then this one divide this one, 36.05. And then last one, this one divide this, 44. Okay. All right, let me just double check. 180. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, everything correct. Yeah, so this is what I got. Okay, after you done that, you finish your A already. Now can do B already. So B, plot y over x against x squared using a scale 2 cm to 5 on both axes. Draw the line of best fit. So this is where we have to use the graph paper. Okay, they already give the scala 2 cm to 5 on both axes. And you already know all the values are positive. From looking at the table, you know everything is positive. So if everything is positive, your origin should be at the bottom left. Origin is the 0, 0 lah. So let's go to the graph paper. I will write my 0, 0 here. And then 2 cm to 5, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, let's check if it's enough. So for the x value, highest value is 32.49. So is it possible for me to plot 32? 31, 30. Yeah, can. Yeah. So later my arrow I put here lah. That's my x square. Alright, for y-axis 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I think it's enough. Let's check what's the highest value. So for y-axis, the highest value is 44. So 44. Okay, let's put one more lah, 45 lah. Yeah. So this one is y over x. Yeah, it's important to check whether you have enough space to plot all the points. Kalau tak nanti, if you realize not enough, then you have to erase the whole thing. So it's not good, right? So that's why I check with the highest value. Okay. And of course, the lowest value also important lah. But I already know everything is positive, so confirm cukup. Okay, now we can start to plot the points. Okay, I'll use red color so that it looks more clear. Okay, what's the first point? 4, 8.8. So let me use red color to plot that. 4, 8.8. Okay, 4 is 5 minus 2 kotak. And then 8.8. 8.8, okay, you can go to 10 first. 10 turun 2 kotak is 9. 9 turun lagi sikit. 8.8 lah. Okay, let me plot again. 5 is 4 is here, right? 10 turun 2 is 9. 9 turun sikit is 8.8. Yeah, because satu kotak is 0.5. Yeah. So if 9 I turun satu kotak, it will be 8.5 already. So 8.8 should be somewhere like around here lah. Okay. Okay, next one. So let's go to the table. 614. Okay, no problem. 614 should be easy. So 5 tambah 2 kotak is 6. Because 1 kotak is 0.5. So 5 tambah 2 kotak is 6. And then 14 is just 15 turun 2 kotak. Yeah, so this is the point. Okay, not too bad. Let's go. 9.99, 22.5. 9.99, 22.5. 9.99 okay, 10 is here, right? 10, if I minus 1 kotak, it will become 9.5 already. But I want 9.99, right? So I think it's basically 10, 10 minus sikit je. Yeah, 10 ke kiri sikit saja. And then 22.5 is just 20 and 25 punya middle. So 20, 25 middle is 24.5, and then 10 is just sikit je. 10 ke kiri sikit saja. Even if you plot at 10 also is good lah. Saya rasa you plot at 10 also is fine. Because 9.99 and 10 is so near, right? Yeah, so yeah, the distance is like so small, so it doesn't matter actually. Okay, so yeah, this is the point. Okay, done. What is the next point? 16, 24.8. All right, let's go. 16, it should be easy. 15 tambah 2 kotak is 16 lah. And then 24.8 ah. Okay, I go to 25 first. Go to 25 first. And then 25 turun satu kotak is 24.5. Then I tambah turun satu kotak lah. I just 25 turun sikit cukup already. Because I want 24.8. I don't want 24.5. So it should be around here. Okay. Okay, it's a bit weird, right? Like how the points are positioned. Doesn't look like they can jadi straight line. But it's okay. It's okay. We plot the low. All right. Next one is 30, 25, 36.05. 25, 36.05. Okay, 25 is here. 36.05. Okay, naik sampai 35 dulu. 35 naik 2 kotak is 36. And then 36 naik sikit je. Naik sikit dapat 36.05. Why naik sikit? Because kalau you naik satu kotak, dia jadi 36.5. Dia mau 36.05. So 36 naik sikit cukup di. And make sure you plot at 25 lah. Alright. Now, for the next point. Oh, it's the last point already. 32.49, 44. 32.49, 44. 32.49 is 30. Tambah 2 kotak is 31. Tambah lagi 2, 32. Tapi dia mau 32.49, right? So you tambah lagi satu kotak. Because tambah satu kotak is 32.5. And 32.49 is basically 32.5. Ke kiri sikit je. Ya, ke kiri sikit saja. Even if you plot at 32.5 also is okay. Okay, naik sampai 44. 44 is also easy. It's just 45 turun 2 kotak. So I think it's here. Let me double check. 30 and then 35. Middle is 32.5, right? Actually, it's 32.49 lah, but you plot at 32.5 also can, and then 44. Yeah, betul lah. This is the answer. Okay, the way the points are positioned is a bit weird. So I feel like it's either I made a mistake or maybe there's an incorrect value. So let's go back to the soalan. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see it already. So you can see one of the value y has been wrongly recorded at the C2, right? So definitely there's a wrong value later. So it means I never make any mistake lah. Memang dia punya point ada satu incorrect value. Let me tell you why I go and check bawah tadi. Because I know linear law, sometimes they will ask this. Yeah, they will ask this. There will be a value that's incorrect and you have to find out the correct value later. Okay. Okay, let's try to draw the line of best fit. Of course, your ruler, sorry, not your ruler. Your line has to be connect with most of the points lah. And point yang tak connect, try to make it balance. Okay. Alright. Definitely don't draw it like that, because if you draw it like that, you can see all the this point is so far away, and yeah, it's just not good. So what I do is I will position my ruler, goyang sikit, and make sure my line can sentuh paling banyak point. So what if I position it like that? This is actually the line of best fit, right? If I put it down a bit, it's not good already. Like that, you sentuh 2 points saja. And all the rest all duduk atas. So it's not balanced also. So I think this is the best one. Ya, ini garisan penyesuaian terbaik ataupun line of best fit. Because you can touch 3 points. And even though you have 1 point at bawah, there's 1 point atas also. Okay. And clearly this one yang paling jauh, that is the incorrect point lah. Itu yang nanti you buat the last question yang you kena catat point ni lah. Okay. Yeah, and make sure now you just extend until the y-axis and you are done. Yeah, this is definitely a line of best fit because you can see the distance here. Okay, ni point duduk bawah garisan, tapi jarak sini akan cancel out dengan jarak sini. So these two jarak is fine. Okay, tapi ada satu point yang sangat jauh. This one, right? That's the incorrect value. So later when I do my part C, part C last question, I have to refer this point. Okay. Okay, but now let's do write the tajuk graph of y over x against x square. Okay, usually I will tell my student to write this one. Okay, and then draw a line, and I think that's it. You get full mark for the part B already. Yeah, that's all. Alright, let's go back to the soalan. So part B 3 markah sudah kau tim. Now let's do C1, but the C1 I do already just now. Okay. And then C2A, find value of A and B. This is when we have to find out the gradient and y-intercept. Okay. Alright, let's do the y-intercept first. Y-intercept just guna mata tengok. So according to my graph, it's 5 turun 3 kotak. 5 turun 2 kotak is 4. So 4 turun lagi 1 is 3.5 lah. Yeah, 3.5. So my point is actually this one. Okay. And I think I'll write down the coordinate beside, because I'm planning to use the same point to find gradient later. So 0, 3.5. And then later I just have to find another point to find the gradient lah. Okay, let's find out the, so we know the B already is 3.5. Okay. Okay, now 2 over A is the gradient. So for gradient, you need 2 points. So let's find it. I already have the first point, 0, 3.5. For other point, I can choose where? Okay, kalau saya choose 20. Ya, kenapa I choose 20? Because if I choose X 20, later when I do Y minus Y over X minus X, my X minus X will be 20 minus 0. And when you divide 20, you get jawapan yang cantik lah. Because 20 is an easy number to divide, right? If you choose like 30, then it's not very smart. Because bahagi 30, usually you end up getting decimal yang banyak-banyak decimal place, right? So bahagi 20 is better. Alright, what is the point here? The Y coordinate is 30 turun 1 kotak, so 29.5. And usually I will ask my student to join them using dotted lines and form a triangle like that. And then put a 90 degree. Okay. Alright, nak sekarang boleh cari gradient keturunan. Ambil y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 29.5 minus 3.5 bahagi 20. So 29.5 minus 3.5 bahagi 20 minus 0. So use your calculator quickly and press that. I get 1.3. You see, dia bagi jawapan yang cantik. Dia tak bagi jawapan yang banyak-banyak decimal place. Sebab saya bagi 20 mah. So try to apply this in your working. Okay, sekarang macam mana cari A? A hantar atas jadi darab, 1.3 turun bawah jadi bahagi. So 2 divide 1.3. Okay. Let's write 4 significant figures. So it's 1.538. Okay, 1.538. If you want to write fraction, can also. In fraction is 20 over 13. Yeah, so 20 over 13 like that. Yeah, boleh juga, sama saja. Okay. Alright, this is how I would do it. Now let's go to the last part. This one. So this question B. Find the correct value of y if one of the values of y has been wrongly recorded during the experiment. Okay, for this type of question, I first recommend you don't find the correct value of y first. Before you get to the correct value of y, you first need to find out the incorrect. You have to find out the incorrect value of y over x first. Then, okay, this is question 2b. Okay, then you find out the correct value of y. And then you find out the incorrect value. Wait, hold on. What am I talking about? Sorry. Incorrect value of y over x, incorrect value of y. And then the next one, this one should be correct value. Yeah, and then this should be correct value of y over x. Yeah, it's important to differentiate the y and y over x because my y-axis is y over x, right? So let's go to the graph. So which one is the incorrect value? Yeah, this one, right? The point yang paling jauh. And what you will do is you will tarik this so that it's on the line. Because when it's on the line, it's better. So I think I'll take this and then tarik to the y-axis. So you can see this one is 15 tambah 2 kotak is 16. 16 tambah lagi satu is 16.5. But this 16.5 is not the y, it's the y over x. So the correct value for y over x is 16.5. This one is 16.5. Then what about the incorrect value? Okay, incorrect value you can refer table. You can refer table. Because dia adalah point ketiga kan? Point ketiga. So let's count it. Point ketiga. 1, 2, 3. So this is the one. 22.5. But this one is y over x lah. And then for the y you refer table yang ni. So it's 71.1. Okay? Yeah. And the 71.1 it actually come from 22.5 darab with the x, which is 9.99. Sorry, darab with x is 3.16. 9.99 is the x square, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, macam tu. Alright, last thing, how to find correct value of y. You kena ambil 16.5 darab dengan x, and the x is this x, 3.16. Sudah cakap tak boleh ambil 9.99 tadi ya, sebab ini x squared. Saya mau x, so 3.16. So I'll just multiply it, and then I'll get the y. Okay, so my calculator give me 32.14. Yeah. Sorry, 52.14. Saya cakap 32 tadi ya. Sorry, 52.14. Alright, kalau saya buat macam ni. So the full mark is 10 marks. Alright, that's all. Okay, number 11 pula. So solution by scale drawing and vector is not accepted. So it's very clear it's vector question lah. No lah. It's not vector. Even though they say vector here, but this is not vector. This is coordinate geometry. From 4 chapter 7 or 8. I think it's 7. Yeah, 7 coordinate geometry. Okay, diagram 11 shows a straight line AEC and DB. Let's check ada tak dua garisan. Yes, AEC yang ini, DB yang ini. And they got give some coordinate there. Okay, that's good. Now they say given that AEEC is 1, 2. Oh, ini penting. Ini information penting. So label this. AE punya nisbah 1, AE ratio 1, and then EC ratio 2. So EC is from here to here 2. So I can find point A lah. Yeah, because dia sudah bagi point E, point C, right? And then ratio pun sudah ada. So later we can do this. Darab, and then banding dengan point E. Yeah. So we use the divisor of line segment punya formula. Okay, let's see what they want first. Soalan A1, yeah, memang dia suruh cari point A. So let's go. So the step is like that. Point A kita nak cari, kita tak tahu, let's call it XY. And then kita akan darab dengan ratio yang jauh. This one also darab ratio jauh. And it's always ambil point yang hujung darab. Yeah, the point yang dekat hujung darab dengan ratio jauh. And then the middle one, that's the answer. The -4, -2 is the answer. So point E, -4, -2, that's the answer. Equals to bracket, line, comma, line. And then now you darab silang lah. Okay. Alright, first thing you ambil XY darab dengan 2. So you get 2x, 2y. But the 2y you have to write at after the comma lah, because this is y coordinate. And then point C darab 1, so 6 times 1, 0 times 1. Tapi 6 times 1 you kena tulis sini, 0 times 1 tulis sini. Because 6 is the x coordinate. Mestilah tulis dekat x. And then 0 y coordinate tulis dekat y. Okay, nothing in between means tambah. And then bawah is just the ratio tambah together. 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2. So you will get -4, -2 equals, okay, sini akan jadi 2x plus 6 over 3. Okay, the x nanti boleh cari ya, sebab kita boleh banding, right? Okay, and then 2y, okay, 0 times 1 is 0, so ignore that, 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, now we compare. So banding, and when you banding, mesti x coordinate sama dengan x coordinate. So 2x plus 6 over 3 is -4. And then the other one, 2y over 3 is -2. Okay, let's cari x and y now. How to find x? First pindah 3 dulu, -4 times 3, -12. And then pindah 6 jadi -6. -12 minus 6, -18. And then pindah 2 jadi bagi 2, -18 bagi 2, -9. Next one, cari y. Okay, first pindah 3 jadi darab, -2 darab 3, -6. And then pindah 2 jadi bahagi, -6 bagi 2, -3. But, so this is your coordinate A lah. Tapi soalan suruh cari point A, right? So I think you have to write sekali lagi A bracket and then tulis -9, -3. Kalau nak dapat full mark, kena tulis macam ni. Yeah, because this is how we write coordinates. Second question, find the value of P if the area of ABC is 48. Okay, this one very obvious lah. You use the area formula. But first you need to make sure you have ABC punya coordinate. Kalau tak ada, tak dapat buat. Alright, so question 2, dia kata area of segitiga ABC. Let's go and find out ABC. So point A sudah tahu, -9, -3. Point B tak tahu. Point C tahu. Okay, actually point B tak tahu tak apa. Sebab dia ada bagi area 48, right? So it's okay. Kita boleh cari balik P. And the soalan memang suruh cari P. So let's go. The formula looks like this. 1/2 modulus. And the answer we know already is 48, right? And what we have to write inside is the coordinate. All the 3 coordinates, okay? So you can start with any point you want. For triangle, dia boleh start dari mana-mana. A pun boleh, B pun boleh, C pun boleh. But let's just go A, B, C like that lah. So point A is -9, -3. And the way you write it is -9 and -3 bawah dia. And then point B is P5. Okay, the P I don't know, but it's okay. Because I have the answer 48. Later I can pindah cari P lah. Okay. Alright, point C is 60 and then that's the one like that. And before you tutup modulus, you have to repeat the first one. Like that. Alright, let's continue. 1/2 modulus. Alright, macam mana nak darab? Always start dari atas and then darab silang. So -9 times 5, -45. And then tambah. P times 0 is 0, 0 tak payah tulis. And then tambah. 6 times -3 is -18. Tapi sini tambah kan, so letak bracket negative 18 and then tolak. Why suddenly tolak? Because you change direction. Negative 3 times P, negative 3P. So write in bracket. And then minus. The minus kena tulis siap-siap. 5 times 6, 30. And then minus tulis siap-siap. 0 times negative 0. 0 tak payah tulis. So I think it ends here. It ends here. And then equals to 48. And don't forget, I'm trying to find P. So I think the over 2, I think I will pindah to the other side. 48 times 2 is 96. Okay. And then dekat sini left with modulus. Okay. Yang ni dengan yang ni dengan yang ni boleh buat. So let's tekan. Negative 45 minus 18 minus 30. So negative 45 minus 18 minus 30. Alright, my calculator give me negative 93. Negative 93. Okay. And then you left with the minus 3p, which is positive 3p. Okay. Okay, now how to find P? Pindah modulus. When you pindah modulus, ada dua jawapan, satu positif, satu negatif. So the first one is 96, and there's another possibility, 3P minus 93 can equal to negative 96 also. Okay, and then now you can find P from here, P from here. Alright, how to find P? 96 plus 93, and then answer divided by 3. So you get 63. And then this one, negative 96 plus 93, which is negative 3, and then divide by 3, negative 1. Okay, but how can this P have two answers? Cannot, right? P, I don't think P can have two answers. P has to have one answer. So I think I have to reject one of the answers. So which one reject? So if you look at the P5, P is actually, when you baca bawah here is sini kan? And this number has to be negative because it's on the left of 0, 0. You can see it's on the left of 0, 0. So tak logic kalau P63, right? So this has to be rejected. So the only answer that makes sense here is negative 1. And since we know that, we will write it here also, negative 1, 5, because you might use it for the next question later. Okay. Alright, so that's how you do question 2. That's all. Okay, ada lagi part B. Point F lies on the same Cartesian plane. Where is it? Okay, it's not even there. Point F is not even here. So maybe it's a new point lah. It's a new point. Point F lies, the straight line DF and DB are perpendicular to each other at the point D. Find the equation of straight line DF in intercept form. Okay, let's focus here. DF, DB perpendicular at point D. DF, DB. So highlight, let's go. So DF, DB. So DF, DB. Okay, I can see D is here, B is here, right? Okay, so F is actually, must be somewhere here lah. Yeah, because perpendicular, right? Because your DB line is here. And if you want to draw another line that is perpendicular with this line and at D, then it has to be like that lah, something like that, right? So 90 degree. And the F must be somewhere here. I don't know where lah, but somewhere here. Okay, DF, DB perpendicular. Okay. And they want to find the equation of straight line DF in intercept form. Okay, let's talk about intercept form. Intercept form is like this, x over x intercept plus y over y intercept equals to 1. That is how intercept form looks like. Okay, but don't worry about the intercept form first. Just find the equation first. Yeah, just find the equation in linear form first, or in whatever form first lah. Then later only I convert to this form. Okay, so in order to find equation, we always need the gradient, right? We always need the gradient of the line. Okay, so what we need is the gradient of the red color line, not the yellow color, the red color, because they want equation of df. Okay, but first we have to find the equation of the yellow color line first, because you cannot find the red color line gradient directly, because the red color line you don't have enough information. You need 2 points at least to use the gradient formula, but you don't have for the red color line lah. But for the yellow color line you can do that, and then later they are perpendicular, right? And when two lines are perpendicular, the m1 times m2 equals negative 1. So you can use that formula to find the gradient. Okay. Okay, let's find out the m1. M1 would be the yellow color line, y minus y over x minus x. So 11 minus 5 over negative 3 minus negative 1, which is negative 3 plus 1. And you get 6 over negative 2, which is negative 3. But the m2, which is the red color line, will be negative 1 divided with the answer just now, which is 1 over 3. Sir, kenapa negative 1 bahagi? Because when two lines are perpendicular, the m1 times m2 is negative 1. So after you get the yellow color gradient, to get the other one, you just take negative 1 divide answer. Now, after having the gradient, now we can find the equation of straight line. So the formula I will use to find equation is y minus y1 equals to gradient x minus x1. Sorry, y minus y1 equals to gradient x minus x1. Yeah, this is the formula I will use. Of course, you can use the other method also, the y equal mx plus c punya cara, ganti m dalam, and then for the c, you ganti x, y dalam to find the C and then rewrite the whole thing. Boleh juga kalau nak guna cara tu. But in Addmaths, usually we use this method. Okay, y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. Okay, for the gradient, kita nak masuk yang mana? Negative 3 or 1 over 3? Mestilah 1 over 3. You nak cari gradient of df. Mestilah masuk gradient df, 1 over 3. And then the y minus y, x minus x, you kena guna point yang ada melalui garisan ni. Yeah, you need to choose a point that passes through the df line, which is point D lah. Yeah, point D you can use. So x is negative 3, y is 11. But since you're taking y minus y, so it will be y minus 11. And then x minus x will be x minus negative 3, x plus 3 lah. Alright, don't forget they want intercept form but it's okay. Kita kembang dulu. So when you kembang, dia jadi apa? Y minus 11, negative, this one is positive 1 over 3 times x is 1 over 3x. And then 1 over 3 times 3 is just 1. Okay. Okay, now we'll focus on making it into the intercept form. So the way we want to susun is we want x and y and then number on the right side. So we want x here first. So we want x, so how? 1 over 3x pindah sini jadi negative 1 over 3x. This one I have to write first. Next thing I write is the y, but the y no need to pindah already, it's already on this side. Okay, and then the rest of the numbers we have to write on the other side. So positive 1, but the minus 11 kena pindah sana jadi plus 11. So 1 plus 11 is 12. Okay, okay, I will erase the 1 over 3x and write it a bit different. Instead of writing 1 over 3x, I will write x over 3. You will know why later. Okay, you will know why later. And now what I will do is I will take everything divided by 12. Because I want to make this number jadi 1. Because intercept form memang you want this number to be 1. So you divide by 12. So the 12 now becomes 1 lah. And the y here becomes y over 12. And what happens here is becomes negative x over 3 over 12 is over 36. Because when you take fraction bahagi 12, it means you ambil nombor bawah darab 12. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so x over 3 over 12, basically what it means is x over and then the 3 and 12 darab together jadi 36. So now you understand, right, why I put the x atas. Okay. And also memang intercept form you want the x to be atas. Yeah. You don't want it you don't want the x to be here, right? You want it to be atas. That's why I write atas lah. Okay, is this intercept form? No. No. Because you have to make sure x sahaja duduk atas. So the negative I recommend how? You write it bawah like that in a bracket and then plus y over 12 equals 1 like that. Okay. Yeah, so like that is good. So you can see clearly the x-intercept is negative 36, the y-intercept is 12. Okay. Alright, let me use red color because I takut you tak nampak. Yeah, so this is the answer lah. Okay. Alright, I think I did everything correctly. So this is also worth 10 marks. Okay, let's move on. Oh, ada lagi soalan C. Okay, dia kata apa ni? Point M move. Okay, the moment I see the word move, I know it's a locus question. So your first step should be let the moving point jadi xy, that point M xy. So how come you know all this so fast? Because I do a lot of question already lah. It's always the same. Yeah, when you do a lot, you recognize the pattern. So it's like it will be very boring once. Okay, point M move. That's why M it will be moving point. Such that distance from point F is always 2 over 3 times the distance from point C, and then point F is the y-intercept of straight line df. Find equation of locus M. Okay, if you go to the diagram, you can see the point M is not there. Yeah, because point M is a moving point, right? It's a moving point. And they move with the condition that the distance from F, so MF, is always 2 over 3 times the distance from C. So 2 over 3 times MC. Some students, they will write FC here, but if you write FC wrong already. Because M is the moving point. So MF is always 2 over 3 times its distance. So MC baru betul. Okay, now the point F is the y-intercept of straight line DF. Find the equation of locus M. So in order to do this question, we need the point M coordinate. And we also need the point F, and we also need the point C. But point M will be XY. Yeah, because point M is the moving point. Yeah. And that's why I write let M XY lah. But we need F and C also. So let's go back and find if we have that F and C. Okay, point C I have 60, but point F is don't have. But it's okay. We have point C. Let's write down that C 60. Okay, point F how? Yeah, they got mentioned here. F is the y-intercept of DF. So you already get the equation DF just now. This one, right? And if you want to baca the y-intercept, you just tengok sini saja, 12. So it's very obvious that the point F is 0, 12. Yeah, because they say point F is the y-intercept of straight line DF. So definitely point F would be 0, 12 lah. Y-intercept x is 0, and then the y-intercept is 12 lah. Yeah. Alright. with these coordinates, now we can find out the equation of locus already. So what we do is use the distance formula. On this side, cari distance MF. On the other side, cari distance MC. Okay, the distance formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. And dalam bracket, kena tulis X minus X, Y minus Y. Okay, for MF, you tengok point MF lah, ini dengan ni. So X minus 0. So tulis X saja pun cukup lah. And then Y minus 12. Okay, minus 0 tak tulis pun tak apa. Okay. Alright, for MC, it will be ini dengan ni. Same thing, X minus X, so X minus 6. And then Y minus 0, which is Y saja. So just tulis Y saja. Alright, the next step is to get rid of the square root. Macam mana nak get rid of square root? You kena square both sides. Tapi bila you square both sides, make sure the 2/3 pun kena square juga. Some student they just cut the square root like that, and then the 2/3 dia tak square. Salah, tak boleh buat macam tu. That's why I tak ajar guna cara potong. I always teach like that, square both sides. Alright, when you square the square root and square cut, the square and square cut, but don't forget the 2/3 kena square juga jadi 4/9. Okay, alright, so here we left with X square tambah, this one you should kembang. How to kembang? First you ambil Y square, and then you take Y times negative 12 times 2, which is negative 24Y, and then negative 12 square is positive 144. 4/9, and then bracket, okay, X minus 6 square, you kembang, first you take X square, and then X times negative 6 times 2, so negative 12X, and then negative 6 square plus 36. And then tambah with Y square, and then that's it. The square root is gone dia. Alright, sekarang buat apa? Kalau saya akan ambil 9 darab sini. So everything here darab 9. Then what about here? This one darab 4 saja. Okay. Yeah, so 9 darab sini. So 9x square tambah 9y square minus 24 times 9. What is it? 216y. Okay. And then 144 times 9, 1296. Okay, and on this side I darab with 4, so 4x squared minus 48x plus 4 times 36, 144, and then the last one is y squared times 4, 4y squared. Okay, you faham kan kenapa 9 boleh darab macam ni? Sebab ini 9 duduk bawah bahagi mah, so pindah to the other side jadi darab lah. Ya, itu saja. Okay. Alright, when we write locus, we usually want our answer to be equal 0. It means we want it in general form. So what the cara kita susun is first we have to write x square, and then y square, lepas tu x, lepas tu y, lepas tu number, lepas tu equal 0. So first one is x square. So x square dengan x square boleh buat 9 minus 4 is 5x square. And I will put a mark down there to show that I sudah buat lah. Because I takut nanti I left out some terms there. That's why I do the mark. Next one I do y square and y square. Ini kawan dia plus 4 pindah jadi minus 9 minus 4 plus 5y square. And I do the mark also. Next one kita kena tengok yang ada x. So yang ada x ini seorang saja, minus 48 pindah jadi plus 48x. And then next one is y. Okay, y dia seorang saja. So tak payah pindah lah, it's already on this side. And then tinggal 1296, 144 tapi 144 pindah sini jadi minus. So ini minus ini tekan kereta dapat 1152. Okay, I think this is the final answer. And all these numbers tak boleh kecilkan dah. Dia tak boleh bahagi. Yeah, 5 is a prime number. Yeah, 5 is a prime number. And also all these numbers tak boleh bahagi 5 pun. So this is the answer in simplest form already. So ini jawapan dia. Okay. Alright, this coordinate geometry question is also worth 10 marks. So that's it. Alright, I think we are moving on to parts section C already. Okay, bahagian C. Bahagian ini mengenai 4 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, in this video I will jawab 3 soalan. Okay, yeah. And macam biasalah, saya akan skip yang kinematic punya. So number 12 I won't do. Okay. Yeah, in all my paper 2 videos memang I tak buat the kinematics one. So let's go 13. This one is solution of triangle lah. Tengok pun sudah tahu. So form 4 chapter 10. No, sorry, chapter 9. Segitiga. Alright, solution by scale drawing not accepted. Okay, not important. Diagram 13 shows a transparent glass block with a base ABCD on a horizontal plane. AFB is a colored plane inside the block. Okay, let's check. AFB is a colored plane. Okay, so far so good. Let's baca bawah. Okay, given that the plane ABE is an isosceles triangle with an area of 9 square root 2 and the BAE is 45. Okay, let's go cari the ABE plane. ABE plane, or this one. Okay, and it says it's an isosceles. So yeah, they got the 2 lines here also. So this side and this side mesti sama panjang. And the area is 9 square root 2. So I think I have to write this down because it's an important information. Area of the triangle AEB is 9 square root 2. And there's a lot of ways to find area of triangle. You can use 1/2 times base times height. You can also do 1/2 AB sin C. But usually if you want to use, but if the triangle have 90 degree, then only you use the base times height punya formula lah. Okay, what it says here, BAE 45. Okay, so here 45. Okay. Okay, okay. A show that AB is 6 cm. AB is 6 cm, so this one is 6. But we have to show them that. Show them the working, how to get this. So we have to buat tak nampak lah. Okay, macam mana nak show leh? Use the area lor. But if I use the area, what formula I should use? So we have the angle. Okay, use the formula 1/2 AB sin C lah. Right? And the AB, so let's call this X for now. Right? Let's call this X for now. And this will be X also because it's isosceles. So 1/2 AB sin C, X times X, and the included angle is sin 45. And then equals to 9 square root 2. And then now you can just find X, and hopefully my X is 6. Yeah, because X is the answer, right? Okay, X times X is X squared. 1/2 I tulis je. And then the sine 45 is actually 1/2 equals to 9 square root 2. Yeah, the reason I know that is because I hafal. In the trigonometry chapter, from 5 chapter 6, actually there's a table that I always ask my student to memorize. The table, basically you have to memorize the value answer for sine 30, 45 and 60 lah. Yeah, that's why I know this. Okay, and then now how to find X? I think I will pindah this there first. So 1/2 X square equals, okay, the square root 2 duduk bawah, so pindah sana jadi darab. So it becomes 9 bracket 2 like that. Because square root 2 times square root 2 is 2, right? And then 9 times 2 is just 18. And then pindah the 2 jadi times 2, so 36. So X square is 36. But I'm trying to find X. So square root 36 is 6 lah. Well, actually, when you square root, there's two answers, one positive, one negative. But how can this be negative? Bro, this is cm, panjang. Panjang mana ada negative. So X is just 6. So now you can say that AB is 6 cm lah. Because X is the AB, right? So after we show that, we just write the word shown. Okay. Alright, sudah siap. Soalan B1. Given that BC is 12. Oh, I better label this. BC is 12. Where is it? Okay, this one 12. Okay, I think this one also I can erase. Just write 6. Okay, AF is 10. Okay, mana AF? AF. Oh, this one is 10. Okay, CF is 7. CF 7. Okay, this one. FCB 90. FCB 90. Oh, 90 degree. So I think this is a right angle triangle lah. Usually when the question mention 90, I immediately go find the right angle. Where's the right angle one? Yeah, because right angle triangle can use Pythagoras theorem or the Socato to find out the angle or the side, right? Yeah, so I immediately go and cari the right angle. So it's this one. But let's not do anything first because we didn't know what they want. So they want the angle AFB. Okay, AFB this one. Okay, this triangle lah. Alright, for the 3D punya diagram student always struggle with it is because there's so many triangles, right? There's so many triangles there, and we don't know which triangle to use. So we have to baca soalan carefully. So this one they want to find angle AFB. So definitely we will be using this triangle to solve. Okay, to solve. But how do you find this angle? Alright, first of all, can I use sine rule? Okay, I have the opposite panjang 6, but I need another angle and the opposite panjang, but I don't have the angle here, and I don't think I can find this angle here. So I don't think you can use sine rule. What about cosine rule? Yeah, cosine rule is possible because you have all three sides. Wait, did I have all three sides? This one is 10. This one is 6, but this side I don't have, right? But did you remember I said this side is actually the hypotenuse of the right angle, right? So there's a right angle there. So I think I will use Pythagoras theorem because this one I know is 7, right? And I know this is 90 degree. Dia yang cakap. And then this one is 12, right? This one is 12. So use Pythagoras theorem to find FB and then use cosine rule. Yeah. Okay, to find FB, you simply do square root 7 square plus 12 square. Why plus? Because you are finding the longest side of the right angle triangle. So you tekan this, you get 13.89. Let's go. And then now you can start with your cosine rule. So this is the angle you're trying to find. The cosine rule formula is a square equals b square plus c square minus 2bc cos a. And the small a has to be opposite angle, depan sudut. So the angle you're trying to find is this. So the small a will be the side yang ini lah, 6 lah. So it'll be 6 square equals to b square plus c square will be the other two side, which is 10 square, and the other side will be 13.89. Yeah, the FB, the FB, BF. So plus with 13.89 square, and then masuk formula saja, minus 2 times 10 minus 13.89, and then times with cos A, and the cos A, the A angle is this angle lah, angle AFB. So I write pseudo AFB. Okay, usually this one, the way I do it is I will ask students to cut off here, and then the 10 square pindah, the 13.89 square pindah sini. So we tekan this one minus this one minus this one. So 6 square minus 10 square minus 13.89 square, negative 256.9321. And then the rest here, I'll just do negative 2 times 10 times this. So what is 2 times 10 times 13.89? 277.8. And then don't forget the cos AFB beside. All right, now it's time to find the pseudo AFB. So cos AFB here. And then I tekan this one, bahagi this one lah. Okay, negative bahagi negative mesti positive. And then this value divide this value, we get 0.9249. And then I will just shift cos everything. And you will get 22 degree 21 minutes. I usually write in degree minutes. Yeah. If you want to write in decimal, can also, up to you. Yeah. So this is the answer. Okay. It's important to know one thing also. When you tekan shift cos, actually there's two answers. Because add sugar to coffee, and when the cos answer is positive, you have first quadrant, fourth quadrant answer. So there's actually another answer in fourth quadrant. And to get the other answer, you have to take 360 minus. But for the triangle punya chapter, you don't have to worry about the quadrant 3, quadrant 4 answer. Because in a triangle, semua sudut tambah, you dapat 180 saja. So it's either the answer is in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2. If it's quadrant 3, quadrant 4, you don't have to confirm, it has to reject one. So this is the answer lah. 22 degree 21 minutes. Alright, I'm done with this. Let's go number 2. Find the area in cm square of the colored plane by using Heron's formula. So I want to find the area of this shaded one. Okay? But they say Heron's formula. Okay, the Heron's formula looks like this. A equals to square root S bracket S minus A bracket S minus B bracket S minus C. And what is S? A plus B plus C over 2. Okay, and if you want to use this formula, you have to make sure you have all three sides. So do I have all three sides of the colored triangle? Yes. 10, 6, 13.89. This is good. So first thing first is I find the S first. So 10 plus 6 plus 13.89. Divide by 2, of course. Alright, let's press and see what I get here. So my calculator give me 14.94. 14.945. Okay, so that's my S. And now it's time to find the area. Okay, let's use this line to separate. Okay, area equals to square root. Okay, and then dalam you kena letak ni lah. S. And then S minus A. So 14.945 minus A. A, I can take any side. So 10. And then 14.945 minus the other side, 6. And then there's one more. 14.945 minus with the last side is 13.9. Alright, you can see I don't have enough space. That's why I write down here. But this one is supposed to be here lah. It's supposed to be written here. Alright, sekarang kita just tekan all this in the calculator and you get the answer. Okay. Alright, I will straight away write the final answer lah. 26.41 cm square. Okay. Yep. You can just use your calculator. This one, nothing for me to teach. Okay. Alright, I will do C now. Okay, do I have enough space here? Okay, let's do it here. Okay, given that AB is A prime B prime, AF is A prime F prime, AFB and A prime F prime B prime sudut sama, sketch the new triangle A prime B prime F prime which has a different shape from triangle ABF. So this one is an ambiguous case. Yeah, there's an ambiguous case for the ABF triangle. So let's go to the ABF triangle. Okay, this one black color, and they want you to sketch a new triangle which has a different shape from this. But they got mentioned some condition here. So let's go through the condition. First thing first, the AB panjang have to maintain sama. So the 6 have to maintain same. AF also have to maintain sama. So let's highlight that using a red color pen like that. So the panjang have to be same. And then the sudut AFB have to maintain the size. So where's the AFB sudut? This one. So this sudut is like locked already. You cannot change the angle. So that means these two lines cannot change position. These two lines, they cannot change position, because if you change position, the angle will get affected. So what you have to do is change the position of this line, the AB line. And how do you change the position? You make sure you change it, but make sure you don't change the 6 cm, because the 6 cm has to stay the same, right? So what you have to do is actually this B can move until here. and then sambung, right? And let me tell you why you can shorten this line. Because dia tak cakap BF punya line kena sama. Dia cakap ini line kena dengan ni line kena sama panjang, right? They only say this line and this line have to sama. That means this line is flexible. This line is flexible. This line you can shorten it or you want to extend it also can. But I will shorten it actually. Yeah, shorten it so that you get here and this is your new triangle. Okay. Yeah, so I will draw this triangle now. So it will look something like this. So the first line will be like that. Okay, the original one is like that, right? The original one. This is the original one. But then I said this one have to shorten it like that. Basically, this line shorten lah. Okay. So now this line become dotted line already. This line also become dotted line already because that's the old one. Okay. All right. Let me draw nicely. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. This is how it looks like. All right. Let's label it F prime. This one is A prime, and this one is the B to B prime. So this one is B prime. This one original is B. Okay. Okay. Finished. Now for the last one, question number 2. Calculate the angle A prime, B prime, F prime. So I think it's talking about this angle lah. But I think I tengok atas better. Yeah, because if I tengok sini tak ada information. So tengok sini ada information. Okay, let me tell you how to find this angle. You have to find this angle first. Because this is an isosceles triangle. And it's very easy to find out this sudut. Because these two sudut sama, right? So my job now is to find out this angle. And then take 180 minus this to get the final answer. But how to get this sudut? Let's see. This sudut I don't know. This sudut I don't know. But this sudut also I don't know, right? Should I use cosine rule? No, just use sine rule. Yeah, because you have the opposite 6, right? And you also have okay, this angle we have, right? 22 degree 21 minutes. Okay. And yeah, tadi sudah cari yang ni. So if I use the big triangle sine rule, actually it works. Yeah, it works actually. Because the 22 degree 21 minutes is here, right? And if you use the besar punya triangle, this is 6. And then you're trying to find this angle, right? Because this angle and this angle sama ma. And you have the opposite, which is 10. Yeah. So yeah, actually it works. So what I will do here is I'm trying to find this sudut. This sudut is what I'm trying to find now. So I will use the sine rule. Sine A prime B F prime. So I'll just write sine angle A prime B F prime over. Okay, I'm using the big triangle. Okay, big triangle. So I will use this panjang. So 10 equals to, okay, I'm using big triangle. So the big triangle you have satu sudut and dia punya depan. So sine 22 degree 21 minute and then over with the opposite 6. So now sine angle A prime B F prime. Okay, ini tak ada prime Okay, equals, okay, tekan ni. Ini bahagi 6 darab 10. 39 degree 20 minutes. Okay lah, I straight away shift sign already lah. Yeah, because I don't have enough space. So you all can just use your calculator to tekan this one, bagi 6 darab 10, and then shift sign, you get this. But it's important to know when you shift sign, there's actually two answers. Because add sugar to coffee. And when your sign answer is positive, there's two answer. Satu answer dekat quadrant 1, satu answer dekat quadrant 2. But why I never take the quadrant 2 answer? Because if you look at the angle here, this is an angle inside the isosceles triangle. So this can be more than 90. Because if this is more than 90, this is also these two angles same So when you tambah, then you get more than 180, then it doesn't make sense already. That's why you take the first quadrant answer lah. But still it's important to know that. Yeah. It's still important to know. That's why I'm telling you now. Okay, after getting this, now you can finally get the final answer. A prime, B prime, F prime punya sudut. So this angle is 39 degree 20 minute. This angle will be same also. So to get the other side, just 180 minus lah. So I'll use 180 minus answer. And I will get 140 degree 40 minute. Yep. 140 degree 40 minutes. So let me check. Minus 39 degree. Yeah. Okay. So finally done with that. Okay, let's go number 14. What chapter? Index number Form 4, Chapter 10. Alright, this will be worth 10 marks also lah. Table 14 shows information for 3 ingredients used to make a product. So 3 ingredients, PQR, price index for the year 2024 with 2022 as the base year. So these are all the I is the price index and it's for 24 over 22. And these are all lah. Okay, I can see the X tak bagi, so pretty sure they will ask you to find the X later. But they have to give me something if they want to find X. So let's see. The price of ingredient R decreased by 7% from the year 2022 to 2024. Number 1, state the value of X. So A1. They mentioned some information here. For ingredient R, the price decreased 7%. So the index would be 93 lah. Because when you decrease by 7%, it means 100 minus 7, 93. And this one is important to look at the year also, 2022, 2024. So it will be 24 or 22. Always write the newest year, the latest year atas. Okay, yeah. So the latest year, 24, will be atas bawah. And they want to find X. And X is 93 lah, because this X is also the I for 24, 22 for R. So basically X is just 93 lah. Yeah, that's all. Number 2, find the price of ingredient R. So nak cari price in the year 2022 if the price of ingredient R in 2024 is 18.60. Okay, if you're trying to find price, the formula you have to use is this. I equals to P over P times 100. Okay, and the year, I won't write it first, but okay, let's write the information first. So they want to find price of ingredient R in 2022. So 2022 nak cari, and then price of 24 dia bagi 18.6. Okay. So when you're finding price, you have to use the formula lah. I equals to P over P times 100. Okay, I recommend you write the year for the P first. So mesti 24 atas, 22 bawah. Okay, so the I automatic pun 24 or 22. Tapi it has to be for R punya, because the soalan got say for R punya. So it will be 93 here lah. And then 24 will be 18.6 lah. And then 22 is what I want to find lah. And then times 100 lah. Alright, how to find price 22? First pindah 100 jadi bahagi, so you get 0.93 here. And then 18.6 over P22. And to get P22, ini dengan ni boleh tukar tempat. Bahagi jadi darab, darab jadi bagi. So they just switch place. So 18.6 divide with 0.93. Let's press. So I got 20. So the answer is RM20. Have to write RM because it's price. So that's the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Let's do B. Okay, B1. Given that the ratio of the cost P to Q is 2:5, ratio for Q to R is 3:4. Okay, I think this is the weightage. Yeah. Sebab dalam index number kalau dia bagi ratio ataupun pie chart ataupun bar chart ataupun percentage, usually it's the weightage. Okay. So now they say calculate and interpret the composite index for the cost of ingredients of the product in the year 24 with 22 as the base year. So nak cari composite index lah. Tapi composite index punya formula requires the weightage. So later we have to find out the weightage first. And they also ask to interpret, right? Okay, interpret is very easy one lah. Just write dia increase how many percent, decrease how many percent. Yeah, very easy. Like that lah, like something like that. Like price of ingredient decrease 7% macam tu lah. Okay, but we have to find out the composite index. So let's write down the weightage first. So for the W weightage, so you can see the ingredient P to Q is 2.5, Q to R is 3.4. Oh, okay, okay. So if they ask like that, how do you find the weightage? So I think I will do this. P ratio Q ratio R, right? We are trying to get this. And the P to Q, they write 2.5. But then Q to R, they write 3.4. So this Q, 3.4. And you can see this number and this number is not the same, right? So how to do it? How to combine it? Make them the same. So 5 and 3, how to make it the same? Yang ini darab 3, yang ini darab 5. Kenapa? Sebab saya nak samakan. Okay. So now the 2 times 3 you get 6, the 5 times 3 you get 15, and then 3 times 5 you get 15, and then 5 times 4 you get 20. And now you can see same already. Now you can smash them together like a burger, like 6, 15, 20 like that. So the weightage is 6, 15, 20. Now with all this, now you can find out the composite index. So the composite index they want is also for year 24 or 22. So I will buat satu line panjang macam tu, and then carilah. Okay, the formula for composite index is you take the price index times with the weightage. 130 times with the corresponding weightage 6 plus with next one 120 times 15. 93 times 20. Divide with total weightage 6 plus 15 plus 20. Okay. All right. Time to press calculator. So what do you get? 4440 atas, and then bawah will be 26 plus 15, 41. And when you divide, you get 108.29. But don't forget, they ask you to interpret. So I already find out. So how do you interpret? So okay, let's scroll down a bit. Okay, I'm doing B1. So this is the B1. Okay, all right. So interpret. So I'll just write uh composite index, cost of ingredients. So I'll just write the cost. The cost of all ingredients decrease or increase. So if your answer is more than 100, that means increase, right? So increase sebanyak berapa peratus? 8.29 peratus. So the cost of all ingredients increase 8.29%. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Okay, that's all. So let's go. Number 2. Okay, baca soalan dulu. The cost of all ingredient is expected to increase by 15% from the year 2024 to 2026. So I think I'll do it here. So this is trying to give you the composite index because they say all ingredient. All ingredient means the PQR punya average semua. And they give you increase 15%. So 100 plus 15 is 115. But the year is 24, 26. So mesti 26 atas. The more recent year have to write atas. So 26 and then over 24 like that. Okay, what else? The manufacturer wants to obtain a profit of at least 50% more than the cost of ingredients of the product in year 2026. So this is their goal. They want to earn profit at least 50% more than the cost. Okay, and now they give you the cost. If the cost of ingredient 2022 is 40, determine the range of selling price of the product. Oh, naturally selling price. Uh, I think you have to find out the cost first. You cannot find selling price first. You have to find out the cost first. Okay. All right. Usually I will use the P symbol for RM, for price, right? But this time I'll use the C. Yeah. So that I'm not confused. So I use C for the cost and I use P for the selling price. Yeah. So the cost for 2022 is 40, right? So C22 is 40. But you can actually find the cost for, because they are trying to find selling price in 2026, right? So you find out the cost for 26 first. Yeah. After you find that, then only you think about how to find selling price. Macam tu. But I want you to know this, cost and selling price dia tak sama. Cost and selling price is not the same thing. Cost is like the buying price. Yeah, the money you spend to make the product. The buying price, the cost. That's the cost. Selling price is how much you sell to our other people. So they are not the same thing. But it's okay. We do this first. We try to find out the cost in 2026 first. So how do you do that? Can I use this information? No, because the year doesn't match. This is 22, 26. This one is 26, 24. Unless I have the composite for 26, 22 lah. Because if I have that, then I can find the cost. And actually, ada cara untuk cari. Because remember just now I have the composite index for 24, 22, 108.29, right? So we can use that composite index 24, 22, 108.29, and then I use the smiley face punya cara to find out the composite index for 2622 lah. Okay, so the way to do it is to write the year here. Start with the earliest year, 22, followed by 24, followed by 26. And then 115 is 2624, so sini lah. And then 108.29 is 2422, so sini lah. And this is what I want. So the composite index for 2622, the formula is always atas darab atas bahagi 100. 108.29 times 115 divide 100. So press this. What do you get? 124.54. Now continue here. I'm trying to find the cost. So 124.54, the index will be something over something times 100, right? So the cost for 26 will be atas. And then the cost for 22 is 40. Alright, now you can find the cost for 26. Yang ni bahagi 100 darab 40. So what do you get? 49.81. Of course, it's in RM lah. But it's not the answer yet. Sebab dia mau selling price. Okay, I remember they mentioned something about wanting to obtain profit of at least 50%. At least means bigger or sama dengan 50%. Okay, so we know that the selling price formula is actually cost plus with profit. This is the formula. To get the selling price, you have to take cost tambah dengan profit. But they give the profit in cent. Let me think. So basically, this is the cost, right? So if I want to find out the selling price, I have to take this one, darab with 50%, and then tambah with 49.81. Agree? Yeah, because when you take this one, darab 50%, you will know how much profit he wants. But you have to tambah balik with the 49.81 to get the selling price. Yeah. Ataupun ada lagi satu cara, kalau nak cari selling price, you can also take 49.81, straight away darab with 150 or 100. Yeah, like that also can. Okay, like that also can, because yeah, because you're taking this one darab 50%, after darab tambah balik the original value. So basically you just darab 150 lah. Okay. And one more thing, they said at least, right? Yeah, and then they also say determine the range. So I think your answer dia takkan jadi equal one. It will become like have the symbol smaller, bigger. So I think here you write bigger equals, because you want the selling price to be, yeah, bigger equals something, right? So the selling price bigger equals, and then you tekan this. Okay. So I get 74.72, but let's write RM. Yeah, so in other words, your selling price has to be bigger or equal 74.72, then you can earn at least 50% profit. That's what it means. Yeah. So this is how I would do it. Okay. All right. Done with the question. That's all. All right. 15 is the last one. Finally. Okay. It's quite tiring. Yeah, my hand hurts. Okay. Okay. Let's finish it. Last question. This one is clearly linear programming from 5 chapter 7. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pengatur caraan linear. Okay, let's read. Sam, a lorry driver, transport X boxes of fruit A and what? Y boxes of fruit B. So fruit A is X, fruit B is Y. From a farm to market, the average mass of box of fruit A is 10 kilos and fruit B is 5 kilos. Maximum load of lorry 70 boxes with a total mass more than 500. A, write true inequalities which satisfy all the above constraints. So we have fruit A and fruit B. And then fruit A is X, this one is Y, and this one represents the boxes, number of boxes, And they also mention something about the mass, right? One box, dia punya one box A punya mass is 10 kilo, so we have to darab with X lah. Kalau ada X box, kalau fruit B punya box mass 5 kilo, but you have to darab with Y because you have Y box, and this is the total mass, the load. Okay, maximum load is 70 box, so X plus Y, maximum smaller equals 70, because maximum means lebih-lebihnya maximum, so it have to be smaller or equals. And then the total mass is not more than 500. Total mass will be 10x plus 5y, tapi tak boleh more than 500, so it have to be smaller equals 500. Okay, kalau boleh kecilkan, semua ni boleh bahagi 5, so bahagi 5, 2x bahagi 5, y bahagi 500. Okay, so this is your A answer. Done. Now for your B, the third constraint is shown on the graph on page 36. Shaded region represents the point which satisfies constraint. Write the constraint in words. So what it means is dia sudah lukis lah. For the third inequality, dia sudah lukis and lorate for you. So you have to kena buat balik. You kena reversekan dia lah. Reversekan dia and write it in words. So first thing first is we have to get the equation of the line first. So as you can see, dia memang sudah lorate and dia sudah lukis garisan tu. Tapi kita kena cari equation dia dulu. Okay, usually when you find equation of straight line, you need the gradient and y-intercept. The y-intercept saya sudah nampak is at 0. But the gradient saya tak tahu. So cari sekarang. So when you find gradient, usually you need 2 points. Okay, 0, 0 I can use. Let's find another point. I think this point I can use 10, 30. So this is the 2 points that I will use to find the gradient. 10, 30 and 0, 0. Let's go. So my working, I will write here for soalan B. So for soalan B, we have 0, 0 and 10, 30. So the gradient of this line will be 30 minus 0, which is 30 over 10, which is 3. And when you write the equation, it will be y equal mx plus c. So y equal 3x plus c, but the c is 0, right? So this is the equation. Now convert it back to inequality. This is the equation. But if you look at the shaded region, dia bawah garisan or atas garisan? Bawah garisan. So bawah will be smaller. Okay. And you don't have to put the smaller equal because they use dotted line. They use dash line. Ya, kalau dia guna solid line, baru kita letak smaller equals. Tapi ini dash line. So, this is the inequality. But it's not finished yet. Dia nak awak tulis in words. In English words. Or Malay also can lah. So, how to convert this to words? Y is the number of box B, right? So, kita kena convert balik jadi ayat. Ya, tulis dalam perkataan. Alright, so Y is the number of box B. So, how do you write that? So, we have to write in words. Number of boxes of fruit B. Number of boxes. Okay, let's like that of fruit B. And then this symbol is less than less than 3x, so 3 times the number of boxes of fruit A. Yeah, because x is the number of boxes of fruit A. Yeah, so if you tulis macam ni, sudah betul lah. Okay, for soalan C, on page 36, contract and label the region R which satisfy all the constraint. So if you want to do this, you have to draw another 2 lines lah. Yeah, because satu line dia sudah lukis, right? So for part C punya working, I'll do it here. So the other 2 lines that I have to draw is x plus y equals 70. Okay, I for now I will convert the smaller jadi equal because I'm trying to draw the equation, the line first. Okay, yang smaller ni nanti baru tengok. Yang ni bila lorek baru tengok. Okay, and another line I have to draw is the 2x plus y equals 100, and I will open 2 brackets. Yeah, because I need to find some points to plot in the graph. Okay, okay. Usually we use x equals 0, y equals 0, 1. Because this is the x-intercept, y-intercept, and usually it's very easy to plot the x-intercept, y-intercept. Okay, ganti x kosong dapat y70, ganti y kosong x70. So let's plot this line, 0, 70, 70, 0. Okay, so yep, I can plot these 2 points easily. Okay, let's use red color. 0, 70 is here. 70, 0 is here. And then use the pembaris panjang and then draw it. And you will use solid line or dash line? Solid line. Kenapa solid line? Sebab dia punya inequality symbol is ada equal. Ya, dia ada line bawah kan? So x plus y equals 70. Okay. But sometimes you have to use the dash line one, but this one you have to use solid line sebab dia punya symbol smaller equals. Okay. Okay, next line. 2x plus y equals 100. Ganti x kosong, you dapat y 100. Ganti y kosong, you dapat 100 divided to 50. 0, 100, 50, 0. Let's go. 0, 100 is here. 0, 100. 50, 0 is here. Now use a pembaris panjang and then sambung. Solid line again. Why solid line again? Because dia punya inequality pun ada equal. Ya, dia ada line bawah. So 2x plus y equals 100. But you have to double check lah during exam. Sometimes you have to use dash line. Especially mathematics. This one is Addmaths, right? But for maths, sometimes they use the dash line one. Okay, sekarang dia nak shade the region. Sudah lukis 3 line, now shade the region. So when you're shading the region, you have to look at the inequality lah, bigger or smaller. So kalau bigger, ambil atas garisan. Kalau bawah, kalau smaller, ambil bawah garisan. So the first one is x plus y is smaller than 70. But you have to make sure the y is positive dulu. You have to make sure the y is positive dulu and then tengok dari y. So y is positive, tengok dari y is smaller. So kita kena ambil bawah garisan. X plus y 70. So x plus y 70 is which line? Is this line. So ambil bawah, right? So it will be here, here, here. Okay. Tapi jangan lorek dulu, belum siap. You have to look at the other one also. The other one is 2x plus y smaller than 100. Y sudah positif, tengok dari y, tengok dari kiri, smaller. So kita kena ambil bawah garisan 2x plus y 100. So bawah 2x plus y 100. This is 2x plus y 100. Ambil bawah, bawah, bawah. Okay, of course there's another line, which is the one yang dia sudah lukis, and they already shade is here and here, right? So it's very clear to me which one is the shaded region. So cuba awak tengok kawasan yang mana ada 3 arrow. Sini kan, 3 arrow. So that's the shaded region lah. Yang triangle ni tak boleh. Kenapa tak boleh? Sebab ada 2 arrow saja. So you have to choose the overlap. 3-3 overlap. So 3-3 overlap is this bawah punya part lah. So now we can erase all this. Ya, yang ni jangan. Ya, you have to erase. Kena make sure dia bersih dulu and then baru lorek. Okay, next I'll sengaja tak mau lorek macam ni. I lorek like another direction. Yeah. And be careful not to shade this part. If you shade that part wrongly. So like that, like that, like that. And I remember this question asked you to label region R. So later you will have to write the R there. Memang usually they will lorate R1 lah. Oh, one more thing. When you lorate, make sure you don't lorate until bawah x-axis like that. Yeah, because the x and y has to always be bigger than 0. Yeah, that's why this chapter is always everything positive one. Okay, so write the R there, and that's it. So done the part C. Now for the last part, part D. Use the graph constructed in C. Answer the following question. Question D1. State the range of number of box of fruit A, which is x, that can be transported if the number of fruit B, which is y, 20. So I'll write when y equals 20, and they want to find the range. So you have to find out the x minimum and find out the x maximum, and then write it in the range format in between like that. Okay. All right. So let's go cari when y equals 20, cari x minimum and maximum. Okay, y equals 20 is here. So I need the minimum and maximum, right? So minimum, okay, if you want minimum, that means you take the first contact point with the shaded region. So this is the first contact point with shaded region, but this is a dash line. Dash line means it's either smaller or bigger, doesn't matter. If it's dash line, you cannot take on the line. Yeah, because it's like smaller or bigger, right? So you cannot take on the line. It's not equal, right? So what you do is to go further. But you have to go until where? You have to go until here. And then baru turun. Yeah. But actually, if you okay, actually the contact point is like a bit here lah, but I think you have to take this one lah. Yeah, 10, 9, 8, 7. I think you have to take 7, guys. Yeah, you have to take 7 because if you take 6, yeah, 6 is not inside the shaded region, so it does not satisfy. 6.5 also cannot because how can the x be 6.5? X is the number of box. So dia tak boleh ada decimal, dia kena nombor integer. So I think 7. Okay, 7 is the one you take. And then keep going. And also 7 is not on the line. If you look carefully, 7 is actually dia punya line kanan sikit. So that's why no problem. Okay, yang ni boleh ambil on the line. Sebab dia bukan dash line. Dia solid line. So yang ni boleh ambil on the line. So it's 40 lah. So the range is 7 to 40. Macam tu. Okay. So 7 sini, 40 sini. So the minimum is 7, maximum is 40. Okay, I'm looking at the cadangan jawapan and they write 6 here, right? But the way the cadangan jawapan write is like that. But isn't that the same thing? It's the same, right? If you put the equal, it will be 7 lah. If you put smaller, it will be 6, right? Yeah, so I think it's the same thing lah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm doing this without the schema jawapan. I have the cadangan jawapan, but the cadangan I don't think is the schema, the actual schema. The one is just some other teachers punya working lah. Yeah, so I'm doing this without the schema. Okay, anyways, let's do the last part. Question 2, the wages. Cheesy wages. Let's go. Okay, later I'll eat wages. For transporting a box of fruit A and fruit B are 1.5 and 1.75. So wages is the upah, yeah, the rate you get for transporting. So this is the wages. Sam works a maximum of 8 hours per day. A round trip delivery process take 3.5 hours. By drawing the objective function line, find Sam's maximum total daily wages. So you want to find maximum wages. So let's find out what's the total wages formula first. The total wages formula would be 1.5x plus 1.75y. Because 1.5 is for the wages transporting one box of A. And then 1.75 is one box of B. So now you want to find the maximum, right? So what you do is you write this down and then find out the LCM. LCM means the lowest common multiple. But the number is in decimal. So how? Okay, if it's in decimal, I think I'll straight away just take this one, tarap this one lah. Better if I do like that. Okay, tak payah susah-susah. Sebenarnya, okay, actually this number you can write any number also can. But you will usually choose number yang boleh bahagi dua nombor ni. Because later you have to find 2 points to plot. If you choose the number yang susah-susah, later it's very hard for you to plot. That's why I always say find out the lowest common multiple. Okay, but for this case, I'll just take this one, darab this one. So my calculator give me 2.625. So this will be good. Tapi, if you try to plot this, it will be very susah because when you ganti x kosong, your y will be 1.5. And imagine finding 1.5 from here. Ridiculous. 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 How do you plot 1.5? So what can you do? I think I can take this multiply 100. Okay, let me explain to you why. All right, let's just do y equals 0. Ganti y is 0. So you take 2.625 divide 1.5, you get 1.75, right? But I told you it's very hard to plot these points. So what you can do is you can take this maybe times 10 or times 100. Okay, if you times 10, here you get 15, but here you get 17.5. So that's why I say times 100, so that this become 175. But 175 cannot plot also, right? Yeah, 175 is not possible. Okay, I think times 10 only lah. Yeah, so I don't want 2.625, it becomes 26.25. Because if you do it like that, this will be 15, this will be 17.5. It's much more easy lah. It's much more easy. Yeah. So 0, 15, 17.50. So 0, 15. Okay, this time I use blue color. But you have to use pencil. 0, 15 is here. 17.50. Okay, this is 15. And then 15, and then 16, 17. Okay, I take middle here, 17.50. And then use blue color line to join. But when you join this, it has to be using dotted line one, like a dash line. Okay, the dash line. Okay. Okay, so this equation have to write 1.5x plus 1.75y equals to 26.25. Yeah, this is the objective function line. Okay, and now what you have to do is you have to drag the line and find out the maximum x value and maximum y value. So later your answer will be maximum total wages equals, okay, it'll be 1.5x plus 1.75y, right? And then the xy you sub with the maximum point later. Okay. Then what about the 8 hours and 3.5 hours? I think that's useless. Yeah, you know why? Because that one is the time taken. That's the time taken, and the soalan asks for total maximum total wages. So I don't think this is useful. I think they just put it there to confuse you only lah. Okay. But they did mention that it's a round trip delivery. Let's read the BM. Sam bekerja maksimum 8 jam, proses penghantaran pergi dan balik mengambil masa. So let's think about this logically. Usually if you work as a lorry ambil barang punya, you punya upah kira macam mana? The amount of time you spend driving, right? So if that's the, and if it's a round trip, you pergi dan balik, so I think your wages have to times 2 here lah. Yeah, later have to times 2. Okay. Okay, so let's find out the x and y now. And macam mana kita buat, kita kena drag, right? So if you want maximum, you have to slide the line. Slide. Okay. Okay, I will duplicate this. But the important thing is when you slide this, you have to make sure it's parallel. So usually when I teach my students in my class, I will ask them to use 2 ruler. One ruler, place it down here to guide the line, and then another ruler to, yeah, to slide lah. Okay, so but since I'm using laptop, so I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, so basically you just keep sliding, and the jawapan will be at the bucu. So when you reach here, it reach the first bucu, but that's not the maximum. So you keep going, and it's important to make sure it's parallel the whole way. All right. When I reach here, I realized it's touched this bucu, right, which is at 30, 40. But that's not the maximum. Don't forget that this shaded region actually ada lagi satu bucu up here. So I think this is the maximum bucu actually. This is the point that I have to focus on. Okay, it's this point. Tapi you tak boleh ambil this point. Let me tell you why. Because it's a dash line. Yeah, there's a dash line. I told you, right, dash line means you cannot take on the line. So you have to take which point? Okay, we have some choice here. It's either this one, this one, this one, or this one. So which one do you think I will take? Let me zoom in for you. Boom. So there's some points near here, right? So which point you have to take? This one cannot. Why cannot? You have to make sure the point yang you ambil mesti dalam shaded region baru boleh. So this one cannot, this one cannot, this one cannot. So basically, all these cannot. Right? So all these cannot. Okay? So this one cannot because it's outside shaded region. Ini pun tak boleh because the shaded region until here only. Yeah. Yeah. And this one also cannot because you can see it's clearly not inside the shaded region. Ini lagi tak boleh sebab it's on. I already said kalau dash line tak boleh ambil on the line, right? So I think the only logical one is here. But actually it's very risky because I don't know whether this point is inside shaded region or not. Because I can see the red color line. Okay, let's remove the blue color line. Yeah, you can see it's like, it looks like it's on the red color line, right? But sir, just now you say cannot take on the line. Itu kalau dash line. Ini bukan dash line mah. Ini you see the red color line is solid line. So actually, if this blue color line is really on the red color line, then boleh ambil tahu sebenarnya. Okay. Okay, there is a way to double check whether this is on the line or not. Just sub inside the point. Okay, let's baca the coordinate first. So assuming we are taking this point, it will be at 20, 19, 18. So 18, and then this is 52, right? So how do you check whether this is really on line or not? Just sub into this equation, x plus y equals 70. So 18 is x, 52 y, and if you tekan this, you really get 70. That means this blue color point is really on the line, on the solid line, not on the dash line, on the solid line, on this line, okay? But it's not on this line. That's why boleh ambil lah. Yeah, but if it's on this line, cannot ambil, because this line is a dash line. So 1852 is the xy we're gonna use. So put it inside, substitute 18 for x, 52 for y. Now tekan the whole thing. Alright, I will get 2 bracket, here is 118. Yeah, and then 2 times 118, that gives us, hold on, 236. But it's the wages, so let's write RM. Okay, so the soalan asks for maximum total daily wages. I think this is the answer. Okay, for 1 day. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all right. Yeah, I'm done with the paper. Yeah, so this is my trial walkthrough video for SPM SEBENAR 2025 paper 2. So my next trial video, I don't know when is it. I feel like it will be the after the trial paper they public it lah. If they made it public, then maybe I will make some trial videos. So I will see you in my next trial video lah. Or maybe the mathematics SPM SEBENAR already, or maybe if the mathematics SEBENAR paper public it, I will make videos on that also. Okay, see which one comes out first lah. Okay, so hope this video helps some of you to study, and that's all for this video. All right, bye bye.